Hello!
Hello.
Welcome back! Although, to be fair, the break's a little out of place. It's going to be a break between, I think it was episode 30 and episode 31 in terms of the uploads, because, hint, I went away, I got married, I mucked up the uploads while I was away and episodes didn't appear, so I'm sorry about that. But this is session...
We had a great time.
This is session 33, and it has been a month since we last recorded, so...
We've forgotten everything.
And my notes from last session were admittedly quite terrible because I was a little distracted at that point.
Last the behind the scenes bit was half an hour of you just going, okay, what's this person's name? Okay, and what do they do?
These guys take great notes, and it's really useful. And actually, it's all recorded, so we're just going through the old YouTube and trying to work out what we've named.
Whose idea was that?
I
know,
on crazy. But we are all caught up, and this session is going to be fantastic because we are all in Yibrit with a bit of time on our hands.
Yes.
I expect this is going to be an episode of collecting plans together, doing a little bit of shopping, and we will come to that in a second. But as a little bit of a recap, this is sort of, I think we've had one episode before of chapter 3, so last episode would be a really good time to click back in if you haven't watched this before, episode 32. But this session, the party arrived back in Yibrit, the isolated island city of the Inner Sanctum, a certain area within Xerieos, the world of water and islands, and not very much land at all. You have returned from a quest of sorts, escorting the elusive Lady Riverwall, who you eventually met after some extenuatingly terrible circumstances and the loss, or the petrification, I should say, of one of the members of the party, Blue, the bard. You all got back to...
You all got
You got back to Yibrit, and there was a lot of soul-searching, clearing your minds, dealing with pieces of admin, and some very important tasks to be getting on with as well. Aubrey, there were various leads to sort of fix for you. You got up to many things like stealing a letter, or reading a letter from Theren. You did a bit of shopping, you explored, you caught up with a lot of members of the party, people like Vincent, Odie, Drazda, Guildmaster Shanks. You had conversations with Carmian, with Captain Sarcher. It's great how many NPCs we're fleshing out now, isn't it? It's good, it's good, it feels like a bit of a world now, we're getting there. And there are some open leads for you. You still have a lot of open questions to do with Arcanite, a very illegal and elusive substance that it seems like your stepfather was trading in without telling you. You have certain open questions to do with your powers, the unexplained so far storm-like ability that you seem to get when you're particularly pissed off. And there's also the certain question of trying to find a solution for Blue's petrification, one of which points you towards the Cathedral of Zarnor, somewhere that you've found a certain affinity with so far, if not divine, then gladiatorial.
They get me,
They get you, exactly. Theren, Kasaki was number one on your list of another novitiate. In Theren's The Order of the Blazing Sun, where he comes from, you were sent out of the Citadel for 3 years at the age of 18 to essentially just make your way. A bit of a willy sink or float exercise, but Kasaki was a certain close childhood friend of yours, as much as childhood friend can be applied to the order. She went to the Yibrit a few months before, 4 or 5 months before, and you caught wind of her having been jailed for probing into criminal activity that potentially was a little bit above her pay grade. You paid the bail on your return through a combination of your own personal funds and agreements with Guildmaster Shanks, which for you leads lots of open questions. You have the Adventurers Guild, who you are now a member of, and there's a certain expectation of future work at some point with.
And a debt owed.
You have the Bear King, so far mysterious fey entity that has given you Bear Claw, the magical sword that you use to channel arcane power as well as your divine power. There's a lot of questions with that. Why how, what, where. There's a lot of open things on that at the moment.
There's a lot of conundrum headaches surrounding Bearclaw.
Exactly. But there's also Blue's petrification on your mind. You are making your way to the Cathedral of Perith, I seem to remember from last time. And you all met up with another friendly face, if not another soul with a similar agenda to yours. We met Sam's new character, Brukar. The wood... Am I pronouncing that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Wood elf, druid, apothecary extraordinaire, and owner of a shop in Yibrit, who explained to you all that he too was vested in a cure for petrification, having lost his brother to a very similar fate some time ago. You yourself, you know shop owners in Yibrit, you have a certain wealth to your name, but you've been stuck up against a bit of a brick wall for some time now. You're not the most charismatic of people. Your connections in Yibrit perhaps are not as connected as they should be for somebody of your skill and time spent on the island. And you've come up at a bit of a dead end with your search, and perhaps these people are a ticket to the answer. Certainly from what you've seen and from what you've heard in the evening at the Adventurers Guild the night before, it confirms your suspicions that these people may be catalysts of some kind.
We're so charming.
Not even that, just people who seem to change things around them in a for better or worse. Exactly. Perhaps this is what you were looking for. Now, there are a lot of open ends. We start this episode with a little bit of time in Yibrit.
Whoa.
So to give you a little bit of flavour as to what's going on here, it is currently the 23rd of winter. You wake up on a very, very cold morning. The snow's kicked in overnight. The island is cold. The ice that you can see is forming around Yibrit now has begun to really intensify. I'm skipping ahead a little bit in time just because we've got a few days now, so we're going to get to all the things. Yes? Go for it. No.
I very much apologise for this, but our last session actually ended with us in the middle of a day.
It's fine. I'm skipping forward a little bit because it's a nice set, but we'll get to everything you want to do. We've got time.
Cool.
The only things in your calendar at the moment is that the tournament at the Cathedral of Zana, the next major tournament, is on the 27th. So you've got 4 days until that. There are certain things being thrown in the air with various islands, various threads. Perhaps in a sort of hour or so's time, you as characters can get together and kind of unpick what's going on and decide on which way you want to go. But that gives you at least 4 days on the island minimum until the tournament. So, to whoever wants to go first, what sort of things do you want to be doing in your time in Yibrit? So, we're having a bit of downtime for your characters to relax, to refurbish things like your armor, your weapons, your supplies. You have time to correct and fix and gleam and sharpen and everything you would need to do. You've got some downtime, so you don't need to go through the basic stuff. You're level 7 now. You've got quite a lot of wealth to your name. There's certain things that you don't have to worry about so much anymore.
Well, some of us do.
Exactly. David, we'll start with you because we were in the middle of the day and you were off somewhere. So what would you like to do?
Well, when we left it the last time, Theren was on his way to the Cathedral of Perith.
Yeah.
Also, another thing I would generally like to do is find out if there's anywhere in Yibrit which trains, and I'm trying to think of the most roleplay way of saying this, and least D&D mechanics way of saying this.
Yeah.
Trains Theren to be better at outdoorsy stuff. I.e., I would very much like survival proficiency.
A team away day.
Okay.
Because screw those survival checks every time we take a rest outside. They are killing me.
Brukar, do you have proficiency in survival?
Yes.
You do.
Wow!
Great.
Right, so
That's that sorted.
it is one suggestion. So what we were doing with the training with Blue was a little bit sort of corrected, but in downtime you can be taught skills with supplies. Blue was doing it to learn a greatsword fighting, effectively, that Aubrey and Theren were both giving him training on. And in a similar way, In your downtime on Yibrit, what we'll do is every day you spend in Yibrit, we'll make some checks to see how you get on, and once you get some practice in, you may get proficiency in survival, because survival is not just being able to sleep at night, it's
there's a
tracking,
whole host of things.
There's navigating, compass work, just a sense of time and day. So Brukar can, if you're willing, can spend some time in your downtime teaching what you know. You can decide whether it's something you'd want to do, or whether there'd be a cost associated with it, or trade. It's up to you. The Cathedral of Perith.
Yeah, the only other thing is he would probably sort of be spending time with Kasaki and sort of seeing how she's doing and discussing their next moves.
Great, wonderful. So as you go to the Cathedral of Perith, Kasaki will come with you.
Correct.
In the winter, the cathedral has a strange beauty to it. The white marble that creates the cathedral itself. Actually, in winter, it would be more noticeable. The cathedral is a little worn in places. The walls showing signs of wear and cracks. Some of the statues, now you've been in Yibrit for some time, a lot of the artistry is beginning to collapse in the way that statues do over time. Just little things in like the ears of people and the way people are holding hands. Maybe a finger will be gone on a statue or two. Just signs of age. And certainly you never see the cathedral. I imagine Theren would go back to and fro every now and then. Kasaki will come with you as well. It's never busy. As well, compared to Cathedral of Xarnor next door, which is heaving every day with various tournaments and fights of some kind, it's the most you see is you go one evening to go to sort of the effective mass of that day, and there's probably 25 people in the cathedral. It is much less than you are used to. Even in the order, you'd get a few hundred. Everybody collects together for morning, midday, afternoon, evening prayers. Yeah, exactly. So when you get there, you have the high priest. Now her name was Bray. Let me just double check. I've got my thing here.
High priestess Bray.
Yeah, Bray Welter. That's it. You recognise her, she recognises you, and takes you over at some point to one of the side, what do they call little sort of chapel alcoves on the sides of the and it's so good to see you, Theren. I see your trip is, well, I was filled in a little bit by your colleague Aubrey. She visited me a few days ago.
Forgive me, High Priestess. Buns in the hair, sort of sour demeanour, angry a lot of the time.
Yes, a weight to her personality, yes, certainly.
She was here.
Yes, yeah, a couple of days ago.
Oh, this is wonderful news. Thank you. Right, yes, then I imagine you are aware of our most recent casualty, shall we say.
And my condolences go out, as I explained to your colleague, if I mean, certainly as a practicing members, I would imagine, and sort of points towards Kasaki, of Perith, I would be able, I'd love to help you where I could. The problem we have at the moment is that we do not have any scrolls of greater restoration in the cathedral, and, well, I'm one of two people I know in the city with the power to cast such magics, and I'm so sorry, I cannot leave the cathedral myself.
I understand. Do you know where one might find a scroll?
There are a few places, perhaps. As much as I would hate to admit it, the Cathedral of Xarnor are much more likely to be in possession of one. They are a church with monetary wealth following. They give out lavish prizes as part of their tournaments. I would imagine something using that element of violence probably has at least some healing magic, at least on site. I know that the high priest over in the cathedral, he too is a powerful cleric, but whether they have a scroll, I could not say.
Well, it's It's worth checking out. Thank you. It seems winning that tournament is probably going to be the best chance.
Yes, the only other place that I've possibly... Have you checked the shops? There's a few shops at the city that may deal in magical goods. The Midnight Marvel, I know, sells magical items. The Adventurers Guild, Gumbo's General Store, the Alchemists Guild, potentially. I may have a solution. Those would be the places that I would check. I know that there are, in every city, there are people that probably could obtain things where others couldn't, but I'm afraid I wouldn't know how to contact them, and I'm quite pleased that I don't.
It's alright. Thank you for the information.
No, you're very welcome.
And there's another thing. My allies and I, we are looking for the more unscrupulous elements in this city. The people wearing the masks. And I gesture to Kasaki and I say to Cass, would you please describe the person who visited you?
Yes. She describes the masks, the clothing. You can see the High Priestess, when she's listening to all this, there's a certain sadness on her face. Yes, I've heard of similar types. The only thing I've heard, there is an organisation within this city, a criminal network. I know that they run at least a black market somewhere in the city. You can see Kasaki is very interested in this, hearing on. They operate at least a black market in somewhere in the city. I'm afraid I wouldn't know how to, even where it was. But there are rumours, and certainly I would not doubt it from my experience of the city. There are rumours that members of the nobility of the city, of the richer guild merchants, they all have links to this network in some way. It seems like it is, from what I can tell, the network is related to a lot of the high value trade that happens in the city. I would imagine if you have come across them, then potentially either you'd ruffled some feathers, or perhaps you were looking for something of high value. If you were looking for them, perhaps one of those two options may help you get to them.
I think I know someone that would be able to assist. Thank you.
Well, be careful what you get into. The city, I dread to think what evil it harbours behind the corners of buildings, in alleys, in the sewers. I wouldn't like to think about it. My place is in the cathedral, and I stay here where I can, and I'm quite glad of that, but...
Parith tasked me with wiping out evil in her name. That is what I will do. If I must begin with this city, then I shall. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome, but Theren, remember that defeating evil doesn't always mean killing those that follow it.
Any that can be saved will be saved. Any that refuse, the choice is not in my hands.
Parith, watch over you.
And you.
She sort of nods, and there's a lot for her to think about as you leave. You spend some time talking to Kasaki. She, over the course of the next few days, makes it quite clear to you that Theren, whatever this network is in this city, we have to root them out somehow. I can't find them. The fact that I've ruffled their feathers once must mean if we do something like that again, we can flush them out, and if we can capture one, then potentially they'd lead us to their network.
While you were in prison, I had a similar idea. Now you and I have been trained in how to extract information. This is what that training is used for.
Indeed, I wholeheartedly agree.
The captain of the ship, the Athena, he had some links in dealing with Arcanite. I think he is to be our best option.
Okay, that's a good lead. But Theren, this, if we can save your friend, I will do everything I can to help. I believe truly that you wouldn't have put yourselves in the danger that he found himself unless you were looking to raise the gold to pay my bail. If you will let me, I would love to accompany you and assist with finding a cure, at least.
I thought once the corruption was dealt with, you wanted to be on your way.
I do. But the more I hear, the more I believe this corruption is more widespread than I first thought.
All right.
We need all the friends we can get.
Then we'll save Blue. And then together we will clean the city.
But in the meantime, they may be our best shot of getting a cure for him.
That or winning this tournament.
Tell me more about the tournament.
And I go into it. Full of heathens,
Yeah.
you'd hate every second.
Now, the qualification for the tournament for a level 7 character, I'm not even going to roleplay that particular qualifying fight because it would be very easy for you. So, the question I'm going to give to everybody, Brukar probably not so much, is that if you want to be part of the tournament, I will just assume that qualification is a certainty, effectively. So there's a 10 gold fee to pay.
Yeah.
But Kasaki will sign up for the tournament. I imagine Aubrey's 100%
Already done.
doing
Already
it.
done.
Already done. And
Theren will as well.
Theren will as well. Okay.
Yes.
Fantastic. So we've got three members. Okay.
10 gold.
Okay, Aubrey, what are you getting up to?
Okay. Yeah. I had a list. Sorry. No, it's not like that. I wanted to go to the Midnight Marvel, and I wanted to see, because we talked about magic items and questing things.
Yeah.
I wanted to see if it was possible to see if there was any night vision goggles to buy.
Okay. Fantastic. So, you make your way back to the Midnight Marvel. So, again, when you get close to the shop, it's the noises and the smells from the place. It has a constant sort of aura of magic and mist and purple energy. It's a very strange environment. And when you get in, again, the first thing you notice is the dog sleeping just in a sort of kennel by the door.
Yeah.
There's an eye that sort of pops out at you and just goes back to sleep.
They're all good doggos.
Yeah, they're all good doggos.
They're all good doggos.
Exactly. The hundreds of ravens and crows are forever on the roofs and in the alcoves of this place. It is just a very
That's
odd
spooky.
aura.
Yeah.
And you can see the same black galaxy-like, just a dragon sign on the door above the Midnight Marvel. But once you get inside, it is a similar dark environment to you remember last time. Actually, I don't know if Aubrey went last time.
We discussed that we'd all been at some point.
At some point.
I had roleplay. I think I just popped my head in.
Dark wood, purple walls, lots of draping and thin veils, low lighting, spotlights on certain items. Unlike Jumbo's store, which is a lot of stuff scattered around almost haphazardly, everything in the Midnight Marvel is deliberately put and ornamented. And as you get in, you just get a sense that the layout is different than you remember. Where you immediately go in to turn left, there's a wall. And suddenly now the shop goes right, and the shop is just a sequence of random doors and corridors. Wherever you turn backwards on yourself, the front door is always there. So there's no getting lost, but you may turn left through a door only to see the front door behind you where the door would have been. It's a strange setup.
Yeah.
There are numerous magical items for sale in the Novak Marvel. The Elven Lady, the shop owner, thank you guys for helping me dig this one out, Lorelei. Lorelei Evenwind, a very sort of old white and silvered elf, comes out, very sort of glides out and sort of follows you around the store. Unlike last time, there is a definite sense of helpfulness.
Oh, okay.
Her opinion of you seems to have changed slightly, and there's nothing, you can't quite pin what it is. Perhaps it's the gold that you now have on you. A sense of worth.
Gold.
Exactly. She takes you around.
I don't.
We have many wares in our store. Please come around. You said you were looking for something in particular.
Yes, I would like to see in the dark.
See in the dark. See in the dark. I'm afraid we do not have anything like that in stock at the moment, but it's something that we could source. Or even create if not being able to source. So there is
check your notes, Lorelei. Tell me.
No, there is. It's night vision goggles. I think it literally is called.
It is called night vision goggles. Yes.
It is night vision goggles. Hang on, let me just double check.
That's what I look for.
No, I know. I've looked at them myself with my other rogue.
Oh no, they're not night vision goggles. I think they're going to be goggles of night vision.
There you go.
They?
Yeah.
Hang on. Where is it? I think they're an uncommon item, but I'm just going to check.
Probably are.
Yeah, goggles of night. There you go, goggles of night. She does not have it in stock.
No.
But it is an uncommon magical item. I would be able to source something like those. It's an attunement. It's not an attunement. Okay. But it would see 550 gold to source and then bring in, and that's with the 10% tax.
Oh, it's with the 10% tax.
Yes,
Excellent.
500 plus 10%.
Yeah. I'll give her 550 then.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
She's thrilled and it just helps you sign in the ledger. So hang on, so no.
Yeah. I was working out myself.
Goggles
500
of night. She goes through the books and after spending 10 minutes or so behind the scenes, comes back to declare that it's not something that she knows a supplier has,
Right.
so they'll create it in store.
Oh, okay.
And it will be ready in a week's time.
Perfect. That is fine.
She shows you, if you would let her,
Of course.
other items around the store. There are lots of sort of common trinkets and magical items, from wands that make people smile to shields with faces that change when you want. Little trinkets like that, but certain items take your fancy.
Of course.
Amongst other things in this store, a lovely looking longsword that's been just sort of put in a box and almost seems to have been locked away. This is they call it a sword of vengeance. It's a strange weapon, this one. Powerful magic weapon, but possessed with a hunger. Once drawn, unless you would strike down the enemy that you see, it's been known to have detrimental effects on other people. But a powerful weapon. She shows you a bag of tricks, a grey bag of tricks, which can conjure multiple pings from it. A small silver raven, which she says can be used to conjure an animal to do your bidding with. A figure of wondrous power.
Oh my god.
A staff shaped into the shape of a snake, writhed around. A staff of the python, she calls it, that she insists can be used to literally, if people get too close to you, conjure a snake from the staff that then attacks people. A horribly web-like looking wand that can be used to cast the web spell. And then she takes you, seeing as you bought some gold, into the little separate rooms.
The back room.
You didn't notice before. There is a ring of feather falling, which she insists, when attuned, this ring lets you fall at a leisurely rate. You would never, ever be under threat of gravity at all. There is a ring of the ram. You can see an elegant looking ram carved into the outline of this platinum ring, of this gaudy platinum ring. this can be used to give the wearer fantastically powerful bludgeoning force, a possession of strength that can be used. Actually, I think this one's quite fun, actually.
Yeah.
When I rolled this one, it was quite good. Just show you what this one is. So, Ring of the Ram.
Right. Yeah, I'm staring at that sword of vengeance going,
Yeah.
we've already got one bad item,
Yeah.
bad weapon in this party. I don't think
Yeah.
adding another one to the mix will be helpful.
No, so you basically use an action to create a spectral ram that charges out in front of you, bludgeoning anything in front of it, or you can use it effectively to smash an object in front of you or sunder it at strength. It's
That's pretty cool.
quite fun.
Wow.
She shows you a small stone that you actually recognise being very similar to the one that Blue had on him, an iron stone. That this one, she says, attuned, this will absorb offensive spells levied in your direction. And he has a certain power, 20 levels of spells between levels of 1 and 4. But as long as you're attuned to it, it will protect you from offensive spells. And then finally,
Whoa.
because this is the one, when I rolled this, I thought, Aubrey will like this.
Only for the finest. And rolls back a curtain.
It looks like a cloak, a regular black cloak with a hood, but very elegantly designed to make it look like feathers have been stitched into it. She sort of twirls it on the thing and puts it back on the rack. This I refer to as wings of flying. When attuned to this item, the wearer can fly, as if they had angelic wings.
Wow.
It is a beautiful item, this.
It is very...
Did anything take your fancy?
Yes. The stony thing that stops offensive spells hitting me.
Oh, yes.
Yes. What would your retail recommended price be?
I can see you have a good eye for these things. It's the rarest item we have in store.
I thought so.
I would be happy to let it go from my collection for 8,500 gold. Plus taxes, unfortunately.
Of course.
The silence.
I don't suppose, Lorelei, you have a payment plan.
No, unfortunately not. Not unless
so.
for my most favourite of customers, perhaps. But for an item this is a very rare item.
I can see that. And the cloak, the feather one?
The wings of flying.
Yeah.
Slightly cheaper, but still a rare item. This 4,750 gold pieces.
I understand. Well, we'll table those for now. Thank you, Lorelei.
Well, do keep me in mind if ever anything jumps out at you.
Well,
and there's nothing you wish to sell?
Now, I do, but I think I would have talked to Theren at least before doing
Okay.
this.
Yeah, you've got some time. No, you've got time. Yeah,
so,
if you want to.
The wand. I mean, if we're not going to use
The wand of the War Mage?
Yes, I've got it. But I think I would have talked to you about it, whether or not we should keep it or sell it.
Remind me what it does.
Or maybe discuss whether Bruker could use it, for example.
Theren's argument would be, let's see if Bruker gets any use for it.
Fine. So then I wouldn't. Well,
you would have had time to have talked.
All right,
to which you would have
So,
been
yeah.
So the wand of the War Mage is a +3 item. It is I think it's a very rare magic item. A very good roll. I think it was right up on the table, that one. But it gives a +3 bonus to offensive attack rolls with spells. Spell attack rolls, I think, doesn't it? Does it do anything else? I wrote it all down on the card.
+3 to spell attack rolls and ignores half cover when making an attack.
It's a bit like the sharpshooter feat, but with magic. So things like Eldritch Blast would be right, and like a spell attack roll, effectively, would give a +3.
But so basically, I would have had a talk with these guys at some point saying, shall I sell it, sort of not? I'm not fussed either way.
Theren's stance would be, if Bruker can use it, give it to him while he's assisting us. If
payment in kind.
if he's not going to use it, sell it, we'll split what's
Alright. You can use it?
It's very kind that you are suggesting giving this to me, especially since I've known you for less than a week.
Time is money. Friendships don't seem to last quite long.
I could use this, but my spells are not offensive generally. I can attack, but mostly if we, heaven forbid, end up in danger, I would be using spells to aid you, not to attack the enemy, predominantly.
Put it this way, you are probably the only one that can use that. I use
I
fists.
would sell it and get something more specific to your skills.
Alright, then we'll sell it, split it 3 ways. One to you, one to me, one to the blue fund.
Yes.
How do you think?
Yeah, I'm leaving this to you.
Yeah.
I'm leaving this to you.
Yeah.
You can only be attuned to so many items, and it's a thing. You have to start thinking about it. So,
Druids are more buff.
getting it out,
buff,
she
debuff,
takes some
debuff.
time, and her eyes widen when she sees
Yeah,
it.
I-
She spends a lot of time
Me.
going through. This is a very rare item indeed. This is a fantastic craft. I've seen many wands like this come through, but nothing this powerful. Tell me, where did you get this?
Where did we get it? Oh yes,
Lady Rim.
Oh, I couldn't possibly. A friend of a friend. That sort of gift down.
It was a gift.
Yeah, it's a gift.
Well,
So,
whoever gave this as a gift truly has you at heart. I'm afraid I'm going to give you 2 numbers. Its
Okay.
value, I
Yes.
believe in all things being honest with an item's value, and what I would be prepared to pay for it.
It's understandable. I'm a trader. by
I would
background.
be.
The dog laughs.
Tell me, which family are you from?
Oh, Amble Crowns.
Humble Crown.
Never heard of them.
Nope. Yeah. Has to roll.
Natural 20.
Oh,
Oh,
they do exist.
what was his name? Clint? Flint?
Thorn.
Thorn, that's it.
Yes.
Thorn.
Yes.
Yes, I believe he may have come into the shop once or twice. Your family, you deal with multiple wares. Yes, I think I've heard of you before. Oh, well, I'm sure you will understand. The item is worth, just to check this,
Yeah.
9,500 gold pieces.
Okay.
I would be willing to pay 5,500 for it. I'm afraid as a business owner, I must make a profit in these things, and there's a certain expectation of an item this rare. Finding another buyer for it would be difficult.
I understand that, but surely, Lorelei, if I'm able to call you Lorelei,
Please. She's lovely right now. Yeah, as soon as she's seen this,
I'm fucking on this.
eyes are golden. Yeah.
You know, I could put in a good word with my my stepfather Thorn, and maybe we could do proper sort of trading. You know, Harpley doesn't have, as far as I'm aware, a sort of shop or an outpost for magical items. I'm sure if I can talk to Thorn, maybe we can come to some arrangement.
Make a persuasion check.
That is a 13.
13. Well, I'm afraid I'm a one-person business. But I do appreciate. No, it is always good to have trading contacts.
Sure.
I'm afraid I can only go so far on the price. But
Yes.
perhaps I could cut you a slightly better deal as part of an exchange for another item instead. It is not so difficult for me because I wouldn't be having to sell another rare
Sure.
item. It would be simply an exchange of one of my items for one or more of others. Would there be anything that I have offered you that you would want to trade for?
Unfortunately,
The wings of flying, for instance, the value with that is slightly less than that. I would be willing to trade you the value of about 6,000 gold for the swaps. So I would be willing to give you the wings of flying and then give you the 1,250 in cash.
I love the idea that Theren's like, right, you split it between us, and I go, yeah, and come back with a massive logo. I did it! I said the thing. Which is totally what I would do. So yes, I would agree to take the cloak.
Fantastic. She shakes your hand. So,
Theren will remember.
can I have the one card? In the break, I will write you
Thank
up.
you.
I will write you up
It's
a
just
wings
a
card. For your reference, they're called
Yes.
Wings of Flying,
Wings are flying.
but I will draw you up a card in the break.
And
You also get 1,250 gold.
1,250.
change.
Brittle. Good to know.
That's good money. How much have you got now? Because you've hoarded your
So
money.
with that, so taking out the Night Goggles fund, it's now like 3,000. Well, sorry, it's 2,602, and then with that money, which I've kept separately.
So we've still got about 4,000 gold kicking around. Okay. And is there nothing else in the store you would like?
No, but that stone, I don't suppose you could hold it back for me. I might be interested in.
Well, I can only hold these things back so much. My stock tends to move about.
Of
But
course.
I certainly, if you would come back in and it would still be available, I would be happy to sell.
Perfect, thank you. Thank you, Doctor.
Please, Aubrey, do come back. You're welcome anytime.
Thank you. I'm already wearing a cloak.
As you leave the store,
Yeah.
as you're going out, you just notice the dog has moved itself and was watching the conversation, just sort of in the corner, just dozing, but you can see one eye open still. Just again, that's familiar, just in the corner of your eye, with your passive perception, just a flicker of the eye as it blinks in a slightly strange way.
Again, I know it's a complete long shot, but with people who have magical shops, are they used to having sort of pets like this as security, that sort of thing? Like,
As a trader, you definitely know if you've got high value stuff in a shop, you would want to protect it. Yeah,
So
that is totally a normal thing. So a
reasonable
guard
to-
dog is not an
Yeah.
unexpected
Okay.
thing. Yeah.
Fair enough, I assume it's the guard dog sort of thing. Alright, cool.
Perfect.
Cool. The only other thing I was going to do, apart from training for the tournament, is try and get citizenship sorted out at some point. But it keeps going to the bottom of the pile.
Okay, citizenship.
Yeah.
Right, fantastic. So,
But if you want to move on to Brooker just now, I'm happy.
now we will do that quickly. That's
Okay.
because it's a good question.
I'm still making plans.
So-
Okay.
Citizenship all takes place. Let's just have a look here.
Swanky cloak.
Wow. Wow, Fiona.
It might be 2, 3, 4 episodes from now, but something's
Cool.
gonna
Sorry,
go.
Aubrey, where did you get that cloak?
Oh, I just found it on the
I
street.
found it.
Okay.
Made
So,
it myself.
when you get, you make your way to the city hall after asking a couple of places. The city hall is a grand building.
Mm-hmm.
You've been past it before, just off the market, with various bulletin boards off the top of it. When you arrive, there is a lot of noise from inside. You can hear what appears to be a sort of a council session
Oh, okay.
of some kind. It's heavily guarded. The area you're not allowed into that area, but you do hear the sort of sounds of bureaucracy and large heated shouts every now and then. Just from an open window, you might get a glimpse of. But I'm not paying that tax. I mean, that's ridiculous. We spent so much getting. Oh, shut up, you. We've got to. And it just goes up, and you hear bits and pieces. But
Yes.
you're taken to a sort of. I guess the D&D equivalent of one of those glass-walled booths with like a "Can I help you?" sort of things. But let me get an open table. You can.
I'm guessing like paperwork.
Elderly
stacked
dwarf
up,
man
yeah.
with a scroll who kind of looks up. Even Quinn puts it down. Yes, can I help you?
Yes, I'd like to book in for a citizenship test, or at least find out more information about
Citizenship.
it. Yes.
Okay, puts his quill down, gets out several leaflets and sort of picks one up, puts it back down, picks up a bit. There you go. Starts writing again and just leaves you to read this
Oh, okay.
brochure that basically says citizenship in Yibrit. There's several ways you can get it. You can either be a member of a guild in Yibrit and have them vouch for you. To show that you are qualified in serving the city in some way and have proven it in some way. And they give several examples, such as bounty hunting, cleaning out monsters from sewers, bits and pieces like that.
Yeah.
And there's actually just a flat-out donation to the preservation fund of the city. Like the sort of the EU passport backdrop sort of thing, where anybody can pay 25 gold pieces for citizenship.
Just 25 gold pieces.
It says
Okay.
that background checks will apply.
Oh, okay. Well, I say, I've been vouched for. I'm a member of the Adventurers Guild.
The Adventurers Guild?
Yes.
Right. Sort of gets out another paperwork and starts filling it out. Right. Take this to the Guildmaster, have him sign here, 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 here,
Okay.
here, and here. And then you sign here, here, here.
Right.
And it just goes on like this for
Right,
ages,
yeah,
and it's
yeah.
way too complicated, but gives you the forms. And in your time, provided you want to pay the 25 gold, you can get citizenship through the Adventurers Guild because you've done that.
Yeah.
This was something that was designed for when you
Oh,
first got to the
fantastic.
city, but it never happened. But now it's easy because you are people of great repute.
Sure. Cool. Well, then I'll.
now.
I will. Wait. So is it just a yearly fee, or is it just a one-off fee?
Citizens of Yibrit are citizens for life or until incarceration or other insults to the city that would determine its removal.
I don't even know it's 25 gold this time. All right, I'll pay 25 gold. I will become an official. Do I have? Is it like a portrait we have to get pictured with, like a Yibrit flag?
No, it seems to be just like a big ledger and you're written in,
written in.
and the ledgers are handed out and copied effectively.
Is there no like formal paperwork so that if people question me, I can like say, look, I'm a citizen of Yibrit?
No, not
Brilliant.
essentially. You're just kept on the books of the city. So from what the person tells you is that there's a big master book that your name will get penned into in the city hall, and every week or so, all of the separate records of the city are all gathered around the master book, and everything is shared either way and then brought back. So your name will be dispersed within a week's time.
Perfect.
To various gates, shops, guilds, that sort of thing.
Perfect. Well then, yeah.
The background check is a little bit more invasive.
Oh. I forgot
You
about
have to tell, you have to give lots of details about your ties to Amber Crowns, your family members, trips you've been, how many times you've been to the city, days you've spent in the city, items that you've declared, whether you've had a criminal record, all these things are brought up.
Forget about that.
Nothing for you. Actually, make a performance check as you go through.
Luck, very quickly.
Yeah, use your luck. It's a natural one, by the way.
That is a 21.
21. You fly through it. Actually, for you, it's not a...
Stumble at the beginning.
It takes you about 2.5 hours, and then the trip to go and see the guildmaster,
Yeah.
who's wonderful. I'm so glad to see you sticking around. I'm
That's
excited. He manages to get about a quarter of a glass of red wine on your paperwork, but he signs it for you,
Fantastic.
and it's not a problem.
Excellent.
He catches you to one side. Aubrey, is it just you planning on doing this, or is Theren, is he doing it as well?
I'm sure he will. I just thought I would get in there first.
Get him to leave out the order stuff.
Oh, I will tell him, don't worry.
Right, good.
Good.
Yes, fine,
Sure,
it's
thank
fine.
you. What do you think of the new cloak, by the way?
It's gorgeous!
I should have done this
Where did you
before
get
by
it?
Oh, it's the Midnight Marvel. Thanks.
Tell me when it works.
Well, don't worry.
He sits back in his chair. I will be waiting.
Brilliant.
Why do I think Shanks is just Ryan in 30 years?
So,
Yeah.
That's certainly what I'm hoping.
Aubrey, you are now a citizen of Yibrit. Now, I'm assuming... Make an intelligence check for me. This is going to be an important one. Did Aubrey have the common sense to do this before the transaction at the
I'm
Midnight
guessing she
Marvel?
didn't. She probably did 17.
17. I will let you off.
Thank you.
So add another 600 gold to your pot, because that would have effectively been the savings from a 10% tax that would have been deducted from the transaction.
For which
so
one?
when I was telling you
So the 1,250.
Okay.
yeah,
just
so
making sure it wasn't
add
to my
another
personal
600 gold to what she's giving you, because she would have taken 10% of the total pot away for the taxes to the city.
1,850.
So I will give you that.
Thank you. Yeah, so I was just a bit like, ooh,
Not
my
bad.
own tax. Yeah.
Bad, eh? Taxes, eh? There's always a way around.
And then the last very, very quick thing is I just wanted to buy a normal great axe.
Done. Yeah, things from a player's handbook, just
Yeah,
deal with
I'll-
that.
yeah, just
I
so you
trust you
know.
to take the guard
I'll
off.
do that.
A great axe.
Yeah,
Have you got one that's lined with mithril?
I have. It's magical though.
Ah.
So I just want one just in case.
Is it?
Yep, fine. Well, yes, it would. So a +1 weapon would have been. It's not inherently magical in itself, but it would have been created using magical techniques, so it counts as a magic item, but it's not glowing. Do you know what I mean? It's certain.
I mean, Theren used Bear Claw in the tournament and it was fine.
Yeah.
And Beth, the
Bear
hooded
Claw
lady
is a
used
terrible weapon
swords
that anybody would go, why are you
You're
using
using
this?
it, yeah.
True.
It's fine.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
that'll
get it
throw
anyway.
someone off.
I think I'd use only my axe for adventures and stuff like that. I think I'd get one for the tournament.
All right, fine.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, mark it off.
I'll mark it up.
Right, Brooke, anything you want to be doing?
So, considering what these two, or these three, are going to be doing,
Yep.
and the problems that they're going to be stirring up soon, my character will want to make steps to be maybe a little more covert in his involvement with them.
Okay.
So, over the next however many days, I will use a as a kind of nightly thing, I will use conjure animals to create 6 rats and 2 ravens.
Okay.
One of these ravens, I will cast Animal Messenger on, which isn't concentration, and send it to these guys just to send them updates and talk about things.
Okay.
And so this raven will fly off to them and speak in my voice to you.
That's going to take some getting used to.
That's cool.
And will proffer its leg for a note if you want to send something back.
The first time it happens, you're caught by the bar, halfway into a conversation with, I would say, probably Vincent there, and you're sort of just chatting, and this raven just lands straight on the bar. The barman just, oh my god, get down there! And then as soon as it starts talking in Brukar's voice, saying something along the lines of,
hello, adventurers that I met the other day. It's me, Bruka, speaking through a raven.
It's a very confusing thing, but you quickly
I don't know
get
if
used
this
to
is
it.
on.
Yeah,
Is it
exactly.
on?
It's fine.
I'm trying to be... Stop hopping everywhere. I will try and be a little more covert. I don't want danger to come to my shop.
Leighton, did you put something in this?
But I still want to help.
No, boy, I don't think I did.
Please
Not this. No, definitely not.
do store up message to the rat, this raven, if you want to send a message back to me. Otherwise, do come to my shop if you want to, but just not like as a huge armed force looking suspicious or what have you. I am going to make inquiries into the location of this undermarket.
Can it... Vincent, can that
This
thing
message
hear me?
will repeat in 5 minutes.
Do I just speak back to it, or do I... I don't...
It's a leg just
With a little...
offered.
Master Brooker, thank you. When we do visit your store, how would you like us to be outfitted as to not arouse suspicion?
Eventually the raven flies off without a message. And maybe over the course of a couple of days you figure out what to do and to write something on it. It's fine.
And then with the rats and the remaining raven, I keep outside my shop for an hour and just circling like the immediate market around just to see if there's any shady people in the evenings keeping an eye on the market.
Okay. Fantastic. Make a perception check. I would
the
imagine
raven.
For the raven.
I've got it up.
You've got it stats. That is fantastic. Well done. Do it.
Okay. So perception.
If you're doing it over a couple of
wisdom,
nights, make it with
plus
advantage.
3. Ooh, with advantage. Can I borrow?
Yeah, of course.
Plus 3.
Ooh,
Nice. So that'd be 22.
Nice.
22. It takes you a couple of nights, but eventually your attention is
And I'll do speak animals with it because it's not my eyes through
No.
the raven, it's the
no,
raven.
that's fine. But it will give you the communication of giving you a sense of an area, a more impoverished area of the city, down towards the city walls at the base, through the back. So through a couple of the back streets to take you round most of the island into the shadier areas, where you see, once the sun has set, various people often gather, chat, and it's not until you notice, maybe the 4th night, a mask similar to the ones that you heard Theren and Kasaki talk about, a leather mask of some kind. You have a rough area of where it was fleeting, and the communication from this raven, even with the 21, I'm going to give you enough to give you a sense of the area, but you don't know any more than that. The raven can communicate with you to an extent of like black mask, but that's about it.
In a certain area, but rough. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool, very good.
You know the district. It's more of a sort of impoverished, residential slum district of the city.
And I will send that kind of... I
If
don't
you're-
need the rats to
if
send the rats
you're
into
doing-
the sewers.
You can, but if you're spending the spellcasting attention to focus on the raven, once you get a piece of success, I'll say that you can send the rats out, but obtaining a message with that spell from a rat is quite difficult to get like a sense
Speak
of
with
meaning
animals,
from
yeah.
them. You'd have to burn through a lot of slots, and
Yeah.
you're not going to get any more Well, no, actually, make it for the rats as well. Yeah, make a perception check with advantage because you've got several of them. I'll lower the DC because you've got several running around.
Okay, sure. Perception, so that'd be plus nothing. No.
What do they get?
8.
8, no. They find various bits of rotten food, but apart from that, nothing important, unfortunately.
Oh, and can I describe how I do the conjure animals?
Yeah.
Okay, so with my pipe, I go into my study or whatever, smoke a pipe, and out of it comes the smoke that slowly forms into a raven that then forms completely and lands, and then the same with the rats. They all come out of my smoking pipe.
Like Gandalf.
Yes.
Cool.
So.
That is very cool. But we're not there to witness it.
No.
Perfect.
That's awesome.
Okay. So, yeah. You saw that. Great.
Yep.
That's me.
So, anything else you guys want to be doing? Apart from Player's Handbook trading, you can easily do that. What would you spend your time on?
Theren would talk to Cass about the Swords Guild. What's it called again?
College of Swords?
Yes.
The one.
That's the one. School of Blades.
It's a School of Blades, and he would continue his attempt, because, they're a bit more famous now.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Fine.
Let me in. Let me in.
Make a performance check. You spend some time essentially trying to petition
Natural
them.
20.
Nice.
Oh, what's it?
Check me out.
Let me just check me out.
This, because I've got the for someone. So,
It'll also be a 27. As well.
Bloody hell.
the School of Blades itself is a wooden structure that it's a very tall, thin, slanted area that leads into a courtyard, a walled courtyard that cannot be seen from outside. The familiar gates with the slats of the one below and then crosses and the next one comes out as a very short guard sort of spots you every day. And it's on the third day that somebody else opens the door. Actually, it would be a fairly familiar face for you, actually. Let me just double check his appearance. Another half-elf. Very wiry and very sort of, best way to describe it, very pale skin, sort of dirty blonde, tied up very elaborately, opens the door. You recognise him as being a half-elf named, well, actually, what name would you know him by? From the tournament.
The one that beat Blue.
The one that beat Blue. His name would be... So actually, it was never... Actually, I don't remember his fighting name.
Was he not Florian?
His name is Florence.
Ah.
He did refer to himself as Florence. He opens the door. Yes, can I help you?
Yes,
You've been banging at this door several evenings now, and it's getting highly frustrating for people trying to train inside.
I wish to train with you.
Really now? Why? What makes you think that you would be good enough to fight in this guild?
Let me show you.
You're at, I recognise you, half-elf. What did you say your name was?
Theren.
You came on the Falling Star, correct?
Yes, that's right.
Yes.
I all fought in the same tournament as you.
Yes, that would be where I recognised you. You, lost to that, large lady. Big pigtails.
Large lady.
Aubrey Amblecrown, yes.
Yeah, just Storm Shaker or something? I don't remember.
She's calling herself Stormbreaker. She's trying to make it catchy.
Yeah, it wasn't very catchy, was it? No. Fine.
Too many vowels.
And the door is open. Kasaki's with you at this point. Unless you specifically want her not to be.
Yes.
The doors are opened, and the inside looks very much like a sort of outdoor dojo, effectively. You can see large wooden poles and structures and logs have been positioned in ways to aid balance training, things to be able to jump from, climb across, ropes, swinging targets, bags. It's a very complicated setup, and inside you see, it's sort of fairly late afternoon at this point, even in the cold, you're wrapped up slightly against the snow which is beginning to fall. You see two humans, very young, practicing with rapiers and are sort of effectively fencing each other. You watch as a slight fight, one lunges over the top and for the next one to sort of very Matrix style duck below it, parry and go for the cut, only for the other one to backflip away. In your opinion, not really function over form. It's
flowery.
It's flowery. Florence sort of brings his rapier, it gets a sort of a training one, and then sort of hands you a rapier. Go on then. I'll give you an attempt.
I would prefer to use this. I draw back claw. This is clearly a guild where you take enjoyment from the finer aesthetics.
Indeed.
This is such a thing.
No, it is a meat cleaver, my friend. We practice finesse, the ability to attack and vanish in a dexterous way. Now, if you wish to fight and club someone round a bar, that is up to you, but if you would like to show your ability, and again, he sort of flicks the rapier, sort of does a couple of twirls and sort of catches it on the point and hands it handle first. Fight me with this.
I take the rapier.
Okay. So he leads you.
I remember the rule.
Into a dueling ring.
Yeah.
So, roll initiative.
My turn.
Kasaki sort of watches this all happen.
Jeez,
He was always going to go first. They've got dexterity.
Actually, no, he only has a 4.
Wow.
So, that's not too bad. So you go first. You're the first one to react.
Yeah.
You both go, no, after you. No, after you.
So it is a finesse weapon.
Yes.
It does not mean you have to use dexterity. You can use strength.
Which is what I shall be doing.
Okay.
I assume I still have my armour and shield.
Yeah, you've got your armour and shield on. Yeah,
Right.
I mean, he sort of looks at you very disparagingly and goes, you don't... whatever. And then sort of flourishes and goes to parry it, but he lets you... In fact, would he? No, he probably would insist that he would give you studded leather. But he would take your shield away.
That sounds like a terrible idea.
I think it's worth it. For the story.
Alright.
Take us on the journey.
That's 2 AC, isn't it?
It starts with 12 plus dex.
Cool, so that's 12.
Oh.
12 AC. Okay.
Wow.
Fantastic.
Oh, I've just realised Theren would have probably asked before this, assuming that magic is out of bounds.
Oh no, you magic what you want, but weapon attacks only, please.
Okay.
And you can see at this point a sort of a cleric is sort of summoned from
Just watching
like a very old priest. You can see he's got a potion of healing to one side and a sort of tired expression on his face as he comes out. But what would you like to do?
So I'm going first.
Yep,
Yes,
your initiative of 5 is better than 4.
Okay.
He stands there and he's getting a sort of flourish, but you charge him just before he's finished.
I'm going to say to him, Florence, God's fight on my side and vow of enmity.
Okay. Right, you get that familiar sense of purpose, that anger on him, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And I'm just going to attack him.
Okay, fantastic. So that's a straight roll, please.
Here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
It would normally be at disadvantage for me.
Yep.
But I vow of enmity, which cancel out disadvantage.
Yep. So it's a straight roll.
But I also have true strike, which means that my
straight
first
roll.
attack...
So attack advantages and disadvantages don't stack, unfortunately.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's all right.
That is a 23.
23.
Bloody hell.
Okay. Yeah, that hits.
Great. He's also going to get smited.
Okay. Fantastic.
Wow.
What level?
You know what? Second.
Okay, so the rapier, you just go and stab it straight into him.
So that's...
He gets caught on guard and gets stabbed right in the stomach. But
Can I borrow some D8s, please, people?
yeah, go for it.
I need 3.
Realised I accidentally went to the Orc system, bought 2d12.
Those are awesome anyway.
All right, so
Ooh.
slashing damage.
Yep.
That is going to be 13 slashing damage.
Yep.
And So that was 6, 10 radiant damage.
So 23 total.
Yes.
Okay, he's going to use his reaction to uncanny dodge you. So just at the
that
last
makes sense.
moment, he goes and just pulls himself just out of the way, so the majority of the flames pass to the side of his armor and wrap
I mean, I'll
up
be
his
grabbing
arm.
them again.
Yeah,
probably
no, I'm
quite
getting
soon.
them out ready for you.
With your passive perception, you notice Kasaki sort of steps back and is...
Woo.
I wasn't expecting that, but he gets burnt quite badly. Second attack? Go for it.
Fire.
Sorry, I've got to work out my thing. 13.
Doesn't hit. This time he parries the blade away and goes, damn it, I'll show you, you fucking... And he's sort of, a lot of his flourishes are going, and he does his move, unless you want to do anything else, staying by him.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay,
That's me.
fantastic. At this point, he was a couple of he parries and swipes and whatever, and just as as you go to block one of his moves, he nimbly gets up and tries to strike from underneath. So he's going to make a rapier attack at you.
Guarantee it's probably going to hit.
That is a 17 to hit.
It's going to hit.
Right, this time he perches and hits like a soft point just under the arm of your armour. And he gets his sneak attack damage.
Because he's a swashbuckler.
He's a swashbuckler! Yeah, exactly. So, that is
Foolish.
8, 11, 13, 15, 19 piercing damage.
Okay.
As he hits under your guard and just strikes under, and then just you can see him immediately stand with ridiculous pretentious back guard. He's got his weapon out the back of him, and he sort of has you at 90 degree angle swishing around as you come past. That's all he can do this turn. What would you like to do?
1 second.
To the spells.
Where are you?
So you can see, what Kasaki would see, in this battle, Theren is you're used to standing your ground with your armour, and you're trying to get out of the way, but he's outfooting you, and is sort of going under your guard and things.
Like a cat.
Bonus action, Shield of Faith.
Okay, yeah, you pull that divine energy from yourself and wrap yourself in the armour.
Yep, which now makes my AC 14.
All helps.
Yes.
I had D14.
This is exactly what the first episode was like. I had 14 AC the entire time. It was awful. Right, and I'm going to hit him again.
Do it.
Do it.
Right,
Do it,
first
do it, do it.
attack.
Yes.
Yay.
20.
22.
Yeah, hits. Can't do anything about that.
Yeah, smite.
Take those.
What level?
Second.
Okay.
Burning through these.
Got to get him out of this quickly.
Put my armor back on.
Alright, so slashing damage. That is going to be 9.
9 slashing.
Yeah, 9 slashing, and that's 8, 9, 4, 30. No. 12 radiant damage.
So 21 total again.
That is true.
Yeah, he will uncanny dodge again.
So that would be 10 damage in total.
Yeah,
too.
10 damage in total. This time again, you just savagely try and slash down and beat through his guard, and he just pulls himself out of the way. But you can see his arm is rackled massively by the blow. Again, the flames leap down his arm, but he swishes it out of the way before it does too much.
How is he looking?
Pissed off.
Cool.
He hasn't taken a definite hit yet. He's been able to fend you off, but you can see you've got him a couple of times.
Second attack.
Do it.
Okay.
That is a 16.
16 hits, and he
Nice.
can't deflect you because he's already used uncanny dodge. So yeah, you hit him.
Great, I'm going to smite him again.
Right, do it. Just regular
This is
first
at
level.
first level because
Right.
I'm out of
Roll that damage.
things.
He's burned them all. Doing an Aubrey. I love it.
Alright, so slashing damage, that's going to be... No, pierce 5. 5.
5 piercing.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's 7 radiant damage.
So 12 total.
Yeah.
This time you catch him just across the stomach, and he takes a bit of a wound. You can see him sort of having to adjust to get away from the pain. The priest sort of stands up briefly and then sits back down again. But that one got him. You got a good hit on him this time. His turn. What would he do? He's getting a little bit...
A bit too close.
Yeah. So he is going to... There's nothing he can do with his bonus action that's really going to help at the moment because he's not going to hide. It's not his style.
Hide behind a
Dashing
pillar.
and disengaging is not going to help because this is a small courtyard. So yeah, he's just going to go for the attack again.
Cool.
So this time he sort of uses the incentive of the momentum of your second strike to again just power your weapon down after hitting him and goes to strike you
Cool.
in the chest. That is an 18 to hit.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Whoa.
That'll hit.
Ugh.
Right, that's not that good overall though.
What are you on?
40.
19,
40?
19 points of damage this time.
Not
Gets the
good.
There's a couple of ones on those. He strikes underneath and gets a good hit on you. This time, like, you both have taken a hit now. There's sort of a small amount of blood from both of you, but it's now the momentum is with you. What would
Okay,
you like to do?
great. In my turn, Theren is going to say, I have lost a lot of people and I do not have the time for this.
Yeah.
And he is going to Hexblade Curse.
Oh god.
Okay. Make a charisma saving throw for me, please.
Oh.
19.
19. Okay, it's quite a high DC, but that's fine. There's a moment where you go to cast the spell and the absence of Bear Claw in your hand is felt drastically, and you have to, there's just a moment where all of your vision disappears and you find yourself having to no, I can't use Bear Claw. You can't use the spell while you haven't got him equipped as your spellcasting focus.
Fuck. Well,
Okay.
now you know.
Okay. Cool. Cool.
But you've still got your action.
Cool.
You just shouted at him.
Yeah, then I'm just going to hit him again.
Yeah, okay. He's sort of at one point, he's like, what are you doing? You can't use that. Ooh, as you go for the rapier again.
Fantastic.
That's not going to do it. That is a 10.
Yeah, this time he sort of lazily parries your attack down and smacks it into the ground.
Second attack.
Come on.
Natural 20.
Natural 20 this time though. You just smacks it and very clumsily gets it down, but you just bring the weapon up and slash it up in front of his face and catch him. Yeah.
Now this may come as a shock to everyone at the table, but I'm gonna smite him.
He's going to uncanny dodge again, but we'll see what the damage is.
Let's hope we don't get into any scraps this day.
3.
Let's not bring attention to ourselves or anything like that. I'll have to get a fancy new cloak.
Ryan, for the case of simplicity, do you have 2d8s?
2d8. I do. You can just double the dice damage if you want.
Well,
but
yeah,
I've got
that's because then I would just be rolling all of these. Right, okay.
That's
the
fair.
other black one, we'll say that's the other rapier.
Yeah.
Okay,
Or just use the purple ones as the rapier.
Yeah,
Or that.
easy.
There you go. Now you know.
There you go.
Right, so
Whoa.
slashing damage. That is going to be,
There's 15 on the dice.
yep, plus 2 to that, so 17.
17. Wow.
And radiant, 8, 16, 17, 18, 19.
So it's 36 total.
Yeah,
Halves to 18.
yeah.
That gets him exactly.
Yes!
Literally to the hit point. So he lazily parries your attack down, but you just threw his thing, just with your strength, just whip it up, and you catch him right up the chin, and you can just see blood pour from his throat and from his neck area as he just sort of... and the healer rushes forward and then very, very quickly sort of uses a first level cure
First level.
wounds. Which is, yes, 10 health, that's pretty good. By the time he hits the knees, the blood is stopped, but it hasn't stopped him staining his very ornate leather armour, which I imagine you were really just dismissively taking off yourself.
Yeah, Theron's just
Go
sort of
on,
going,
putting it back on.
Yeah.
Cass is there.
fanning herself.
No, I was putting the armour back on you, but...
Damn you. Your technique is all over the place. You don't use any... using it as a club, for God's sake.
But I won.
Not the point. No, it really isn't the point. And you turn around and there's a halfling. You can see that he's now sort of been watching the fight. He's very small but sort of quite old. You can see him sort of crouched on a gnarled stick, sort of leaning over it and watching. You fight with aggression. You fight with menace, but not with your head. You can beat Florence. Anybody that can beat Florence. He looks quite disgruntled, but It's not... If you came across somebody who knew what they were doing, you'd need more
Brutal.
than just using brute strength.
Forgive me, you have me at a disadvantage.
That is fair.
I do not know your name.
You can call me Sensei.
Sensei, I admit...
No, Sensei.
Sensei.
It's a surname.
My apologies.
It's very confusing.
I admit that I have a lot to learn, and that is why I am here. But...
Is that really what you want to learn? If you were to train here, we can teach you to be acrobatic. We can teach you to be evasive, stealthy, dexterous. It's not how you fight. You are strong and capable. I will give you that, and I will dread to think how powerful you are using your natural advantage. But you put yourself at a disadvantage here, fighting Florence. We can teach you, but you would be fighting at disadvantage, and it would take a long time for that disadvantage to beat your advantage.
What I want to know is... I forgive me, I mean no offence when I say this. Your way of fighting here, though it does have a certain visual appeal, is not my way of fighting. That's not why I'm here. I don't wish to learn your way.
Why are you here?
Because it strikes me that something that calls itself the School of Blades will be the foremost authority on swords. And I have a weapon that is not conventional. That people do not understand, that I don't understand. It gives me powers, but it also affects me, both mentally and physically. And I wish to know more about this. And if anyone will know, I imagine it will be the master of the School of Blades. That is why I wanted to meet you.
Well, you have my attention. He sort of makes his way slowly over on his stick, sort of hobbles it across.
I go down on one knee so I'm at his level, draw back claw and hold out to him.
He sort of hands you the stick, takes the sword, and it sort of flicks it around a little bit. This really is a club.
It's also sentient. It
Sort of puts it into the ground.
It affects...
Closes his eyes for a couple of seconds. Come with me. And sort of, still with bear claw in his hand, almost using bear claw like a walking stick now, point down into the ground. He sort of makes his way and leads you through to the back of the School of Blades. You go up, very painfully slowly up a set of spiral stairs into a tower, where a very small but finely decorated room you can see is there, the Guildmaster's headquarters. He sort of sits down at the desk, puts it on his desk, spends a couple of minutes looking through sort of magnifying lenses at it, weighs it a couple of times using various pieces of apparatus. He opens a couple of books and looks through. Tell me, where did you get it?
It was given to me by one of the Fae Court.
The Fae Court?
Yes.
You sure?
Relatively certain, yes.
Sort of looks into it a little bit more.
The emeralds act like an eye. My patron, if you would call him that, the Bear King, he sees, hears everything that I do because I carry that weapon. What's more, I have to open up a secret to you, which I ask does not leave this room. I'm a member of the Order. And Perith, the god, speaks to me. I sought her counsel on top of a mountain recently, and she saw that weapon, reached out to touch it, and suddenly she was gone.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. There's often a disconnect between various forms of magic, divine, arcane, natural. Often they do not agree with each other. He sort of reaches onto a shelf and pulls down two things. A small decanter, which he pours into a glass, sort of about this high, small, hands it to you, and then hands you a small looking dagger from the top, sort of hands it to you. Throw that into the wall over there. Just hit. You see the notch on the wall? Just above that.
What do you want me to do?
Throw it at the wall. Oh, that you drink.
Now?
Yeah.
Before I throw or after?
Your choice.
God.
I drink the thing.
Yeah, it's water.
Throw the dagger.
Okay, make an attack roll. Disadvantage.
13.
13.
Oh, wait. No. Sorry. Dagger. Is dagger using strength?
You using strength?
Does dagger use strength?
Yeah, you can.
Oh, then
Yeah,
sorry, then it's a 16.
16, yeah. Boom, hits the wall. Finesse weapon. You can use it. You can use strength on any weapon you want.
Oh, cool. I wasn't sure because it's tiny.
Yeah. So it funks into the wall, a little bit off to the side of where he asked, but close enough.
Cool.
Sort of looks at you. Pours your drink back to the full. Gets one himself. So drinking it and sort of sips it and then puts it back down. How trained are you martially?
I've been trained since birth.
In all weapons?
Yes.
Including daggers?
Yes.
And why did you throw that so weirdly?
Because since I was given this sword... No, that's not true. Since some time after.
I figured. Yes, I believe this sword is probably sentient and it's probably got some sort of grip over you. Jealous would probably be my first reaction.
Yes, it recently told me that in a dream.
And I see you've been ignoring it?
Yes.
Well, I don't know whether that's sensible or not. On the one hand, showing backbone and standing up to it could be good. On the other hand, you could be pissing it off. I do not know how strong this thing is.
Right.
Looking at it, I can glean a couple of things from your actions. Drink up.
What is this?
It's some sort of spirit.
Why am I drinking it?
Because I'm being polite.
Oh, apologies. I thought this was some sort of potion or alchemy thing.
No.
Is Cass in the room?
Yes.
Just
Yeah, you can see Cass sort of sipping it and sort of looking. Well. Okay. Yeah, she's gonna. She's just sort of staring at various sort of books and weapons. You can see she's playing with a couple of rapiers on the walls.
Swinging them about.
There's a couple of things I can glean from this. Clearly, it has some sort of hold over you, and clearly, it doesn't want to appear as powerful for anybody else. I saw you. I saw you fight. You clearly have some sort of skill with this, and if that idiot Shanks has been talking about anything to us guild masters, then seems to think you're a capable fighter of some kind. I've heard tales of you already. I believe it's probably attracted to you in some way and probably shows you its true power. As to others, it doesn't want them getting anywhere near it. That would be my guess.
All right. Any physical or mental impairments that come with using this sword, how would I go about relieving
You're
them?
making things like that seem very trivial, dear Theren. Normally, an item that bestows negative properties on you would be called cursed. Do you know what they do with cursed weapons, Theren?
Do they get rid of them?
They get rid of them.
I will not do that.
Well, why did you
me,
come and see me?
Because I want to know if there is some way, if this item is cursed, that I can alleviate the symptoms of such. Because I swore not to get rid of this sword. My friend is alive because I swore that.
Because it's back. With anything intelligent, things normally do things for a reason. If it is giving you negative traits, you figure out why and don't do that. Perhaps there's a way to reverse it by doing the opposite.
I have one final question.
Mm-hmm.
If it's sentient, can I speak to it?
Sentience is a word people throw around quite a lot. There's different levels of sentience. I knew somebody years ago that had a sword that physically could sing. It used to really annoy everybody in a tavern.
It
would
sounds
not
maddening.
stop singing. I've heard tales of swords that can communicate mentally, and I've heard swords that can give you the image of the best sunrise, and that's about it. There are different levels to sentience. There's different levels to communication. I would imagine that I, nor anybody else, would be able to tell you the properties of this sword unless the sword wanted us to know them. Short of powerful divination. And that I cannot help you with. I have limited arcane powers, but my arcane powers supplement my sword fighting and no further.
I understand. Thank you. I appreciate that this was perhaps not what you were expecting.
Caught my attention. Very few people come through these doors. Normally they have something interesting to say, even if it's stupid.
Well, thank you for your time anyway.
Well, is that it? Well, put your armour back on and we'll practice a bit, but not like that. You look ridiculous.
Yes, I think I'll stick to plate mail and shields from now on.
Yes. And as you go down, if you see Florence, tell him to clean his blood up off the floor. He leaves it too long, it'll stain the wood, and he sort of is getting up and starts to get a book down from the shelf and sort of has dismissed you.
Bye then. And I just turn and go.
Yeah.
Yoda's gone badass.
Alright, that'll be it.
Okay.
That's all I need. Sorry guys, that took a while.
No,
That's alright.
That's fantastic.
Brilliant to watch.
So, I would say the evening before the tournament.
Gets lots better.
There is an evening where Brukar, you all decide to meet somewhere. Be it in the tavern, in the Adventurers Guild, back at your shop, potentially. Probably back at the shop.
No.
I would cat form and head towards the Adventurers Guild.
Okay.
Ugh.
Fantastic. So, what sort of cat?
White with black kind of markings over it.
Okay.
That's
Fantastic.
nice. And I'll stealth my way over to the Adventurers Guild.
Make a stealth check.
Ooh.
Jeez.
Meow.
8.
There's a lot of
Meow.
people stop to pet you on the way. You're not quite sure how you feel about it.
I'm a professional.
God damn it, Brooker, you're a man of science.
And you will find a little off room in the Adventurers Guild where you are given some time to stop and collect leads amongst yourselves. So, as a group, short of the tournament happening tomorrow, what are your plans? What do you want to do? What's the next step? You have various threads. Discuss amongst yourselves.
So I share the knowledge that in a certain area that I'm relatively aware of, there was seen a masked individual as per your descriptions to me of these people you're hunting down.
Theren would share information about how high the Yibrit corruption goes and mention the best course of action being to talk to Grumac about setting up some sort of meeting or some sort of ambush we can do.
Aubrey sits there in a nice new cloak and goes, "Oh, money."
What's that from?
I sold the wand. That's yours and Blue's share. I used mine to buy this.
How much is it?
It's 1,850 gold, so 925 each.
That's not a lot.
It wasn't worth that much.
Insight check.
Can I also do this check?
Yes, you may. Make a deception check, Aubrey.
I'll let these guys go
I'm
first.
tempted to give you a disadvantage based on the hilarious nature of the cloak,
No!
but I'm not going to.
It's my
I was going to
perception.
say insight.
Can't be very. Oh, insight.
That's insight.
Oh, that's only +7.
+7?
Shit. Sorry, language.
That's alright. I'm going to use lucky. Desperate to try. What was worse?
What have you just got?
Deception was a 6 in
6.
total.
18.
9.
Both of you, but especially Theren, you get the impression that this cloak is not a regular cloak. It is quite magical.
Wonderful.
Arcane, divine, natural, all senses here are coming off on this one.
Allow me to rephrase the question.
Mm-hmm.
How much did you get for the wand, really?
I mean, I got that much money. And this cloak. Which is true.
How much were you offered for just the money?
Brooker is just grinning.
I mean, the cloak was worth about 4,000 gold pieces, and the wand was a bit more if I'd sold it just with the wand. But this cloak's pretty swish.
So, what was it?
Well, we're
4,000 approximately?
Approximately, but look, we could
No,
talk-
sorry, give me a minute. I'm just figuring out
We
how
need to
much
talk
money you
about other
owe me
things.
and our petrified friend.
What does the
Keyword.
cloak do?
Oh, I can now fly.
Very good.
Exactly. Which could be very useful for this.
Yes.
So I will write you the card in the break,
Yeah.
but it says, while wearing this cloak, you can, as an action, to speak its command word, you can use an action to speak its command word. This turns the cloak into a pair of bat wings or bird wings on your back for 1 hour, or until you repeat the command word as an action. The wings give you a flying speed of 60 feet. When they disappear, you can't use them again for 1d12 hours.
That is awesome.
That is awesome.
Allow me to clarify something.
Yes.
Not only have you stolen from myself and our petrified friend, you have also gone previously against your word to me in delivering a note which I did not want until my death. Now, I am inclined to ask you,
that.
at one point,
Is
are you
Cass-
actively...
Is Cass in the room with us?
Yeah, she would be.
Yeah, Theren's furious. Are you actively trying to sabotage our friendship, or is it just general complacency?
You were in a rush, and I was like, oh, well, I might as well just have a look. And then I was like, oh, it is quite important. Then with important letters, you do deliver them. Anyway, look,
When I die.
Well, I decided it was important to do it now. Anyway, let's move on. We were talking about...
We were talking about you stealing from Blue and I.
This is an investment. I will pay back 10 times over. Or Amber Crowns always repay their debt. I think that's the motto.
Wonderful. What's the figure you owe the two of us?
Well, that's a down. Well, no, that is party payment, and we can call it 2,000 gold.
Each.
Sure.
To restore your friend will take time. I think if we are not to improve ourselves and what we can do, it's going to be more. It take longer. But I agree, this was rather cheeky.
Bruker, I do not mind any sort of self-improvement. In fact, had Aubrey approached me and said, I would like to buy this, may I would have approved.
Perfect. Then
But
we shouldn't be grumpy.
it was the dishonesty.
Oh, God. I'm never going to leave this island.
You will give Blue and I 2,500.
Okay.
So what are we doing?
Yes.
We going to
Well,
continue
It
investigating?
was the
We should
plan.
speak to Grumac.
Well, you guys were talking. You were going to go see Gumbo at some point.
We did. Did we? Or
No,
we went
he
to a
wasn't
shop?
there, and then he was going to be back.
So
the
you
next
guys would
day.
know that Grumac is not currently on the island. The Athena took about 3 weeks to repair and then left.
Right.
It is a merchant ship after all.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You probably will be back, but you don't know when.
Then this place where you saw the masked individual.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps that is our best course of action.
Yes, I think so. I have a couple of ways we could maybe a bit stealthier. I can turn into a beast. I can turn one of you into anything.
Right. We need to get one of them alive. Then Cass and I can find out what they know.
Or we could just head in, infiltrate, and find out for ourselves.
You may have noticed this looking at the three of us, but stealth is not perhaps our greatest weapon.
No, but I'm not going to watch you torture someone.
I was not implying that you would watch.
I'm not going to let you torture someone I have helped to kidnap.
Also, where would we do any interrogation?
Certainly not at my shop.
Exactly. And I'm certainly not in my room. Because everyone seems to use this room as a meeting. Well, we're in my room. Everyone uses my room for a meeting room, and I really don't like it.
Well, you could come downstairs when we
I
ask.
was, and then everyone just turned up here. I was literally 10 minutes late.
All right.
That I could believe.
We'll try your plan. If it doesn't work, we'll try mine.
And I will no longer be part of your party.
Very well, Master Brucker, we shall do it your way.
So, I will pinpoint this place a little better. I have the ability to turn one of you into someone different for an hour. We scope out, maybe not torture, we can still capture someone, interrogate them, but not like torture.
I will not torture anyone.
I think between us we have enough to scare someone into speaking without drawing blood or causing bruises.
Will you let me at least use the threat of torture? I will swear on Parith that I will not do it.
Good.
Good.
But no blood or bruise.
At this point, I turn to Cass and say, not to tell you what to do, my friend, but you should maybe swear as well, just to ease Master Bruker's conscience.
I don't think you should come with us, actually, Cass. They know your face. Actually, they all know us to a certain degree, but Cass more so than anyone.
Well, is that not an advantage? If they know my face, we could lure them out.
That is true, but I don't know whether putting you as bait is something we all feel comfortable with.
Well, I would feel comfortable with it.
If you're confident, then I am.
I almost defeated them on several occasions, and with more assistance, I do not believe that would be an issue. We would have the military advantage.
So maybe if we find a secluded spot near to where my spies have seen these creatures, you go there and then run. They follow, go to the secluded spot, we capture some of them.
Okay.
And then we could disguise ourselves as them. Then you don't have to be stealthy.
It's a good plan. I mean, it just seems to be robes and masks, doesn't it?
Yes.
And we can play the parts.
I could transform one of you. I could go in as a cat.
All right.
Not to back away from danger, but I heard rumours of a black market. I think we've both established there's something there. Would it not be worth trying to approach in a friendly manner to obtain access to this market if we're looking for a scroll?
If we're looking for a
It's a
scroll...
shame we don't have much gold anymore, but, you know. Looks over at you.
No, it seems that Aubrey recently came into... Well, actually, just a very expensive cloak.
Well, no. I do have money left in my personal fund, but I've now promised it to some individual now.
Right.
But I'm happy to keep that debt and use up, and on the pretense of that money, go in and see if I can get a scroll.
What about the other leads we've had to other islands nearby?
Well, in regards to our search for a scroll, High Priestess Bray told me that the Temple of Zarnor may have one.
So is it worth waiting until we've taken part in the tournament and investigated that lead?
I think so.
And what about Red Sands? We had stories of there being herbs, potions. Would there be anything there that Brukar could work on?
I certainly would be fascinated to go.
All right.
I'm sure Sacha would. We could probably commission her to take us.
Yeah.
All right then. Tournament first.
But I still like the idea of going into the market, posing as something.
I suggest we make that our second item on our proverbial to-do list.
Okay.
Meanwhile, whilst you're doing tournaments, I could pinpoint my spies, find a bit more information, maybe send some rats into the sewers.
Wonderful. And the more you could tell us about Red Sands.
I can find
If
out.
anything, give us a brief that we can give to Sartre. Like what you would propose, like what Fiona would call a course submission document.
Aubrey doesn't know such radical terminology.
Quest.
Red Sands is one option. The other island we've heard a few times,
Godrow.
Godrow. That
No.
was a paid commission. Potentially that was not something that would immediately help us, but could be a source of gold if we need more gold now.
Mm.
Or Zelidia.
Lydia?
That name, Theren, you were telling me about, popped up. I heard it a few times when I was travelling. Whoever these criminals are seem to be dredging things up from that island. We know they have a presence there. Potentially that would be a way of finding out who they are outside of the prying eyes of Yibrit.
And at the very least, chop off a limb.
Hmm.
Figuratively, of course.
These are bad people, Brukar. They didn't hesitate to throw me in jail.
Did they torture you?
Well, they tried to kill me. I took a couple of them first before they ran, and they reverted to politics.
Right.
I would not hesitate to kill them.
No. Torturing is worse than killing.
I agree.
Thank you.
So, tournament,
Tournament.
and then what then? Do we stick in Yibrit or do we travel somewhere else? We should probably let Captain Sacha know soon,
Yeah.
so that she can prepare the travel.
Aubrey?
Well, I think you're right. I think we should tournament. She says, trying not to laugh. Tournament. Then find if we can get to the black market. I think that would, it makes sense to find any leads here before going off to some other random island, which clearly has some sort of magical presence or artifacts on there that this gang is using to fund their expeditions. I feel we'll have more chance here getting a lead than just going off to these islands.
I agree. Tournament is plan A. Black market, plan B. Island, plan C.
Okay. And if we were to give Captain Sacha the heads up that we needed her, which island should we tell her?
I think Red Sands.
Looking at the map, Red Sands is off to the west. Godrow and Zelidia are off to the south.
Which is closest?
Good question. I think it is Zelidia, but I might be wrong.
the map out.
Red Sands is about 850 miles. Zelidia's about 600 and Godrow's also about 800. So Zelidia's closest, but they're all 600 miles away. Given the falling star speed, it would probably take 4 days to get to Zelidia, maybe 5 to 6 to Red Sands or Godrow.
And sorry, this is Fiona because I've not got written down the notes. Was Red Sands the place that High Priest Bray talked to her about seeing someone about stormy powers? Was that a different
I think it was.
Yeah.
Cool.
It was.
I vote Red Sands.
Theren would vote Zelidia.
Brooker?
Hmm?
Cass? Where would you like to go?
Zelidia.
I just want to get off this rock. Red Sand sounds interesting, but I feel we're never gonna feel comfortable going somewhere interesting until we've dealt with your enemies. So, Zelidia.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, that's Fine.
Brilliant. So, good for DM Ryan to know where you
the
plan to go. Okay,
Submit it.
It's almost like a loading screen is now like coming down. Fantastic. So, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back and we'll have a bit of a tournament.
Woo!
Or we could find a new island, guys, that Ryan has to make.
Let's go round in a circle.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's good. We've had a little bit of downtime. And now we push the story ahead and get doing some interesting stuff. So, take a quick break. See you in a second. And welcome back. So, we've done a bit of rolling behind the scenes to get a little bit of a lineup for the tournament. But in the morning of the tournament, the four of you, Kazaki included, all make your way. I imagine, Aubrey, would you observe the fighting or not so much for you? Not so much. Busy at work.
Mm-hmm.
Got you. So, the two of you make your way along with Kazaki to the arena. Having heard that you're taking part, Leighton and a couple of members of the Adventurers Guild also go with you and very quickly just branch off and go to some of the nicer seats in the cathedral to sort of sit around. Now, you guys are all led to the usual waiting room. Over the course of the day, the previous week, you have all entered qualifying, a simple qualifying round. The fights for you are negligibly easy, nothing would have happened. But to remind you of the rules of the tournament, it is melee weapons only, no magic. Define that as you will. You feeling like, you know, if you get policed, you're probably going to get disqualified, but where the exact line is always difficult to say. Your weapons are inspected as you go through. Aubrey, your axe, your great axe, your +1 great axe is actually allowed through.
Excellent. I toss the other axe.
They look at it and they sort of analyse it. Oh, there's no flames, no ice, no lightning, nothing like that.
No.
It's just all fine craftsmanship. Mithril.
Yeah.
Look at it. The
Yeah.
dwarves
It's
behind
all
are all
special
very intrigued by it. This is fantastic.
No.
Oh, good. Let me hand it back. Yeah, fantastic. Good.
Super.
Stormbreaker.
Correct.
Good. You call Kazaki forward. She sort of hands her weapons in. You can see now, for the first time since arriving in Yibrit, she has dressed herself in the armour that has been fitted to her, the splint mail that was given to her by Theren. It's been taken in various places, but you can now see that she has a slight build, but a strong build. The katana sort of stored on her back, but also in various pouches on various limbs you can see knives that have been sheathed sort of into the armour in various places. Again, symbol of Perth around her neck, but no noticeable signs of the order on her armour. That's very absent. You can see she's got her hair tied back into sort of a very intricate ponytail. Her katana is looked at, there's a sort of nod and sort of handing back, but it's given without issue. Theren, when you arrive again, they give you, are you sure you don't want a weapon from a rack?
No, I've grown quite fond of the cons that come with using this.
Right, fine. Well, at your loss be it. What name are you under?
The same as last time.
Remind me what it was.
Reaper.
Reaper.
God's Reaper.
Yeah, just Reaper. We trimmed the gods part. This is better.
After thinking about it for a second, Isaki thinks, do you think Steel Wind is good?
Oh, love it. Love it.
The Steel Wind? Just Steel Wind?
Steel Wind.
Steel Wind. Sort of nods and goes back to it.
Blue steel.
Stormbreaker. Okay, so you are led into a back room where, before you were left to your own devices, you see the familiar dwarven assistant again with his sort of robes, a big bowl. We have a bigger tournament this time round. 16 entrants, prize money depending on how far you get in. You lose in the first round, you don't get anything. Quarterfinals are 100 gold, semi-finals 250. Get to the final, you get 500, and the winner of this tournament gets 2,000 gold.
Woo!
Bigger tournament pot this time, harder competition. We've pre-drawn lots to an extent, but yours are still remain. So, and he sort of hands the bowl to you. Who wants to draw first?
May I ask a question before we begin?
Oh, yeah,
I'm
certainly.
just about to draw.
When
Hands the ball to you.
when all is done,
Roll a d20.
will we be able to converse with High Priest Glint?
certainly. Yes.
Good. And
14.
what favour would winning the tournament bring?
Winning the tournament is a very elite group, although realistically we haven't had a winner in several months, other than that lady who keeps coming back. We just call her the hooded one.
Whoa.
But
Got a name now.
yeah, well, we had to give her one. She kept refusing to give herself a name, so hooded one sounded good. We thought about enigma or mysteriousness, but we couldn't decide on. Yeah, it wasn't very good. Hooded one it is. Yes, certainly he'd be delighted. Normally he reserves his time. He has a lot of people to see. Potentially getting to the semi-final, he would certainly see you.
All right. If we are successful,
Yep, sure.
we ask for the scroll of grace
Yeah,
restoration.
yeah. Let's go.
All right, and lots.
Oh,
Roll a d20. So,
1.
Saki also got a 1. Roll again.
Whoa.
18.
So 3. Kasaki has the lowest roll, so goes first. Kasaki. Right, who got the next highest?
I got 14.
14. Right, okay, and then you had...
18.
Oh, that's just too good. That is too good. Okay.
I'm excited.
I'm nervous.
Fantastic.
That's gonna be great.
So, you are led to a side room where this time, in a different room than usual, you were led with a view of the battles, whereas before you were in a sort of vault. You've been brought into another room. This time with an actual window. The bars have been put over and it's a slit window, but by sort of getting up, you can have a look and see what's going on. Kasaki is actually pulled to the first fight, having been drawn as lot number 2.
Yeah.
She sort of nods to you both. You can see her sort of get the katana out, which is a shing sort of noise, a very like delicate hum as it looks, and she sort of inspects it, sort of sheaves it again. Yes, I will not fail. Good luck. And sort of very embarrassingly, they disappear. And she makes her way out. About 3 minutes later, again, you hear that familiar build, the crowd, they're like... the noise of people stamping and clapping and singing. The high priest appears a couple of minutes before the fight to lead the crowd in a large chant, which just seems to be calling for blood effectively. The lyrics are...
Blood! Blood! Blood!
He gives us light. He gives us blood.
He gives us
we worship him.
We worship
So let's have blood. It's very simple.
It's a bit samey, isn't
But
it?
afterwards, it's great, and the arena is packed. You can see everybody's huddled up against the cold, and the wind is really whipped around with the snow. And Kasaki is led out. She's immediately visible because of her red hair, sort of in a ponytail, sort of sticking out the back. Her armor, sort of a mixture of different greys and steels, flashing against the torchlight as she goes out. Aubrey.
Yes.
You recognise quite quickly her competitor because you fought it before.
Oh, no.
The half ogre.
Oh no.
A large creature. You can see. You remember being like, really pulling up the crowd, but you remember actually being quite gentle once the fight had gone. A big maul. And very quickly, before you guys have too much time to worry about it, the fight is begun. So let's just do some.
chewing his nails relentlessly.
I'm just staring.
I'll just have a look at a couple of stats because it's going to be intriguing.
Come on, cat.
So hang on.
Gas.
Ogre.
Just got this.
Stew.
Where's the ogres?
I'm imagining the Brit football hooliganism in full force.
The 2 fat guys, one with steel written on his chest, the other one
Perfect. So
Steel, wind, and knuckles.
Kasaki, almost sort of a bit nerved by the occasion, hesitates at the beginning, and the half ogre is the one to strike first, with a big club swinging towards Kasaki, sort of in her direction. It looks like she's going to be hit until right at the last minute she just brings the blade up and the basically catches the blow and smashes into her armour. You can see she's pushed about 2 feet backwards and grunts, but then immediately kicks the ogre in the leg, that she sort of stumbles back and immediately spins and takes 2 quick slices to it. which both hit already very quickly. One on the leg, second one on the strike. You can see she almost spins, the ponytail spinning. 2 strikes. The ogre, sort of frenzied and angry, will now hit down, and this one does catch her. She just about manages to catch out of it, but you can see she's smacked straight in the stomach, but instead of collapsing, literally just gets shunted 3 feet backward, collects herself, and then rushes forward again for... And this time, you can see her attacks. They come rapidly. 1, 2, 3, and then does a flick upwards as she kicks backwards to get some distance. Natural 20, a natural 20. Yeah, right. Wow. This thing is just... Yes. And within about 12 seconds of the fight, she actually has to get called off. The half-ogre dropping to its knees so slowly in what would be a normal sort of like theatrical collapsing forward. Even in that, Kasaki is still striking this thing. 1, 2, and the 4th strike, she has to be called off, like somebody running in, and she sort of quickly like backs off, looks around nervously, sort of wiping her blade. You can see thick drops of blood as the half-ogre is stabilised and then dragged off. As she is getting back. As she yeah, so how much damage would she have taken? A little bit, but not too bad actually. She comes back in. You can see the sort of the impact of the armour has squished a couple of the buckles, but she carefully is just sort of straightening them out, refixing the armour. Sort of looks at you both and nods.
I'd forgotten that you were that quick.
Yes, well, it was very slow.
That is also true.
It's a weakness, but yeah. The second fight is called out. This time, a very regular-looking man. You recognise his horrifically terrible green hood of the serpent comes in doing this thing. But a creature, weird pig-like features. You can see large ears, big, thick eyebrows, and greenish skin. Very tough and big. And actually, the two of you would recognise it. Make a nature check for me. Oh, no, you're not there. The two of you would recognise as a hobgoblin. Ooh. Similar from the pirate ship that attacked you all those months or those weeks ago. This hobgoblin makes short work of the serpent, who darts around for a couple of seconds, annoying it. He manages to dodge a hit or two as he sort of goes to try and like tickle this thing with a few daggers. But eventually the hobgoblin captain with a large spear sort of twirls it round and shoves it straight through the stomach of the serpent. The crowd cheer and give him a good reception as he pulls it out and just sort of spits as the guy falls forward and again is dragged off.
Yeah.
Aubrey.
It's me.
You are called.
Yay! Okay.
You're taken through the cathedral, through the doors. You can see the axe is already in your hands, getting pumped. The noise pumps you up as you're brought out. And coming across from you looks to be a man in his early 40s. You can see a slight beer belly. He has leather armour, looks a little bit drunk, and like, oh, let me out here, let me out, with a club. He doesn't look particularly capable. How he got through his fight, you're not entirely sure. Cool. So, as you're led in, the high priest sort of goes,
hello.
A returner.
Yes, it's me.
Remember you. Right. Well, good luck. Good luck, my friend. You against, I think it's the oak. The oak?
The oak.
Yeah, the oak. The wooden oak. Okay. Fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, fight. Roll initiative for me, please.
I get advantage.
That's so cool.
Do I get advantage?
Yes.
Yes, you do now. Yeah. That's a level 7 barbarian.
It is.
You get advantage. Which is good because this guy got 5.
Cool. That is a 14.
Okay, you go first. You immediately spring into action as he's still correcting the high priest over his name. It's wooden oak. Wooden. And as you come to us.
I recklessly attack both attacks with Great Weapon Master.
Okay, roll for the attack.
Right, first attack.
With advantage, yeah.
So that is only going to be... Sorry, it's minus 2. It's 15.
Hits.
And then the second one, it's a natural 20.
Okay.
It's going to be
Right,
a short
22.
This guy has 28 health.
Yeah.
So,
Ready.
Yeah, that
Aubrey runs in, and with one swing, you just gut him. Bang! Straight into it. And the second one, you've taken slash into his back. The two impacts, he just coughs blood, immediately splutters, and just gets flown forward on the second impact straight in. The crowd kind of muted applause, but it wasn't what they were going for. But
Come on.
You very quickly make short work of him. He was not tough.
No.
As you were led right back.
The
priest sort of like puts his hand on your shoulder on the way out. Well, but play a bit.
Well,
It's the crowd.
No, but he was. I took the
fine.
initiative.
Oh, victory! The Stormbreaker! And his voice is amplified in some way. And you were led back in. Kasaki just sort of looks at you, nods.
You know,
So,
I had to beat your time. I did.
I see. Well, congratulations. You certainly did that.
I did.
You drop your guard when you do that, you know. Somebody quicker would make short work of that.
He wasn't a threat.
stance.
He's clearly cheated his way into this bloody talk. I should talk to these people about who they.
I would agree with that. He was pathetic.
Yes, but I've already tried telling her that she lowers her defense.
It will be the end of her sometime.
Hopefully not too soon.
Well, beasts often are quite quick to be able to get under guards like that.
Well, yes, but in that kind of situation, we should probably discuss this somewhere other time.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, so next fight. This time, a lady you see is brought out with a spear. She has chainmail on and seems to be a member of the guard who is sort of doing a couple of acrobatic flicks. Looks fairly capable in the way that she holds herself. And then you hear the coming out as Vulcan.
Yeah.
The Minotaur makes his way out with a. You can see the cold air, the dragon breath from his snort just scatters around him. He sort of takes a look at her, sees the spear and the large great axe that he has in his hands. He just drops to the floor and just starts doing this. The fight is immediately called, and you can see visibly shaken. She reacting first, him just not really bothering. Just sort of holds herself ready for him to approach. He starts to sort of walk around her, just sort of pacing around for a good 20-25 seconds. As she just stands in the middle, just like jabbing every time he gets within about sort of 15 feet, but nowhere within range, just scaredly as he... small woman, you will not stand me. And he backs away, gets to the wall, kicks off it and just runs. You see her try and get a jab in as he gets within spear range, just missing him, but he just lowers his head, the spear hitting into the horns and just sparking off as he then bang hits into her and gores her straight through the middle, lifting her up. You can see she's flung backwards, and before she can get up, he just immediately comes down, just smack, just with his bare hands, starts beating her up. The crowd love it. They are on their feet, cheering and screaming. At one point, she kind of just stops, like kicks her off, and like walks alongside her, waiting for her to get to her feet. She picks up her spear, but already, bang, hits into her a second time, tackles her to the floor, and she stays down.
Brutal.
As Vulcan holds his hands and sort of makes his way slowly back. The next fight, equally one-sided. You see a rather nervous young man coming out with a sword and a shield with very scattered-looking leather armour. Capable, he seems like he knows his defences, but not with the equipment you would expect. As a hooded female figure comes out. You see, she just sort of stands there in the middle.
The moment.
The fight is started, and she just stares at him, and he just sort of waits for her to come, sort of looks around, and like, and all the people are like, yeah. And he sort of goes towards her, and she just lazily dodges to the left, dodges to the right a couple of times, and then as he goes to just like shield bash, she steps back and with a flourish, and then just attacks with both blades, spinning in directions. And within seconds, he is down. She just sheaves the blades without wiping them down and just doesn't even watch as she walks away. The next one.
Theren at that point leans over to Cass. I assume they're stood shoulder to shoulder watching us. Someone should tell her that that's in fact really bad for the metal.
It's terrible. I couldn't imagine having to dry something like that matted off my blade. That's awful.
It's poor weapon conduct.
Think of the inside of the scabbard.
It was just...
It's appalling.
I'm just staring, watching everything what she's doing. Making mental
Does
notes.
she have a scabbard on her weapon?
No,
I
she
guess some sort of...
just sort of slings it over her back.
Yeah. Does she not know about the rain?
I've tried.
Got me for a lot now, that's weatherproof.
The next fight seems to be more of a pub fight than anything else. Two very
Love it.
large
Love it.
men. Teeth missing, one with one eye missing, the second one just more fat than muscle, but large men just come in, and short of bar stools and broken bottles, they proceed just to wrestle and smack the hell out of each other. The match takes about 2 minutes, and the crowd absolutely love it because they're both tough but not that competent, and they just are smacking each other for minutes and minutes until eventually one gets another in a chokehold and just and drops down and flops him down. Gets the crowd going.
Amazing.
Right, I'm just imagining those really clumsy drunken street brawls where like a shirt's half off and it's all over his head.
You hear some movement behind you as one of the administrative assistants sort of pokes his head. Theren?
Yes.
You're up. Reaper, right?
Yes.
Right, this way. And you're led into a room. And as you're coming out of your room, a room across from you is open, just in the same corridor, another waiting room, as with a swish of blonde hair, the familiar form of Florence
No
comes
way!
out, stares at you. Fuck's sake.
Are you and I to...
You're going down this time, you know. I've learnt your technique.
Yes, but, my dear boy,
Walks off.
this time I'm using my weapon.
He just keeps walking as quickly as he can. Make an intimidation check.
Oh, and you're in full armor, aren't you?
Yeah.
Ah.
28.
He kind of like is walking, and there's a moment where you see him just veer to the left, hit the wall as he tries to look like behind him without moving, and just veers into the wall and goes, "Fuck you!" and then walks
incredible.
off. You can see him
smiles.
getting his rapier out, starts to spin it, and then just drops it on the floor and then picks it up again.
Oh, I feel slightly bad for Florence.
No!
Beaming ear to ear at this point.
And you are led out again. The High Priest. Reaper.
Yes.
Good to see you again.
And you.
I see your previous opponent made short work of that enemy. Are you going to give us a bit more of a show, I hope?
I'll do my best.
Very good, dear boy. Pat you on the back. Ladies and gentlemen, fight! And there's a roar. Roll for initiative.
Let's do it.
7.
7. Florence goes first. So this time...
Ready for it.
Okay, let's just draw some stats out here quickly for him, because he's got this much health and he's had some time to recover, although his dignity is...
His ego is broken
always
still.
tight. He just runs in and then just tries to go for what they call the fencing move. It was where you like a flash attack where you just sprint past someone and get them on the impact. So she just sprints past you and tries to get you on the impact. But that is an 18 to hit.
Nope.
No, so this time you just and there's a huge spark as his blade skims off the shield as he whips around and goes to immediately take a defensive position on the other side of you. As you pull yourself around, you'll go.
And because of True Strike, I have
Advantage
super
on your
advantage.
first attack. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Our house rule on the
15.
cantrip. True Strike is a
Right.
great cantrip, but it needs to be tweaked a little bit, I think.
4. 19.
24, 27, 28. It's over 25.
That's going to hit.
Right.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay. That is 15 points of slashing damage.
15. He's going to uncanny dodge to bring that to 7. So the first attack, he just sort of manages to duck just at the last minute, hits the floor and like does one of those sort of kicks off his back onto him to bring up his blade again. Second attack.
My True Strike advantage is that every attack.
All attacks of the round. We tweaked True Strike because it's
Terrible otherwise.
yeah.
So that's 24.
Yeah, you're going to hit. Let's see if you got the critical.
Not higher than
No,
24.
so just hit, so.
Oh! Oh, another 8.
That's another 15.
Another 15, and he can't uncanny dodge this one.
Oh.
So the first attack, he just gets out of the way of, but as he gets back up, the second one, you just carve into the side. He catches the blade, and it just smacks into him. He grunts as the impact. You can see his muscles having to flex to the highest possibility they can, just to hold back the blade. He manages to push you off and kick you off, but it's a decent impact. For his go, unless you want a bonus action?
Not really a bonus action,
Yeah.
but what Theren is going to do after the slash is he is going to sort of like re-enter his stance, but as he's doing that, spin the blade around, almost kind of reminiscent of the way that they do in the School of Blades.
Oh, make a performance check.
12.
12. So you do a decent job, and he sort of spits at you. You can see the crowd starting to clap a bit and go,
It's for the people.
Reaper, Reaper. You can see Florence looking around. That's not... He's going to make an athletics check. No, an acrobatics check, and he's going to try and effectively do like a really fancy attack onto you. 28 for acrobatics. So
Wow.
he kind of cartwheels round and does like a sort of round off backflip over you and goes to sort of slash around the top of your guard where the armour is thinnest. Hasn't got advantage or anything, he's just doing it theatrically. 14 to hit. He gets you on the armour and it just skims off. You're unhurt. Getting through steel with a rapier is tough.
Not going to happen.
Tough, hard work. He lands. You can see him flourishing again. I will defeat you, heathen.
Yes.
That's what he says.
Alright.
Your move.
Okay. Before my attack, I look him square in the eye and say, "Don't say I didn't warn you to go this way." And I'm going to attack him again.
Do it.
So,
Do it,
yeah,
do it,
this
do
is
it.
just standard, isn't it?
Yep.
21.
21 hits.
Oh, that one is 8 points of damage.
8 points. He's going to take that hit. So,
Shocker.
yeah, so this time you just sort of catch under his guard and wrap him around the wrist. You draw a bit of blood as he quickly flourishes the blade away from most of the harm.
Cool.
You can see throughout the combat with Theren, most of Theren's attacks, he is either guarding or parrying away, but Theren just has strength, and every time the guard is broken a bit more than it should, so the blade slams into him, he gets knocked back a couple of times. Theren has the advantage here.
24.
24, yeah, hits. He can't parry that. He has a reaction where he can add his proficiency to his armor class.
9.
He will uncanny dodge that one.
Yeah.
This time, so he sort of ducks under the blade, but as doing so, his legs slip out from under him. He smacks into the ground, winces, and has to roll away again. He is going to attempt to very athletically get back to his feet, which again, 27 acrobatics is. The crowd love it, the way he whips around, and this time he swishes around and goes for your ankles to try and
Not
attack.
the ankles.
Sam, is this
At the
what it's
bottom.
like trying to hit Quentin when we play?
Almost.
That is a 25 to hit this time.
Whoa!
So this
Got
one
ya.
hits. So this time
That'll
he
do it.
catches just under the leg. You go to sort of move your leg out the way, and he grins and moves the blade up and arcs just under the armour where a particular cut of the blade of your suit is. So that's 8, 10, 16, 22, 25 points of slashing damage
Whoa!
as he gets you deftly in the links of one of the armour. So 25.
Wow.
Thank you.
That is incredible.
Cool.
Swashbucklers, man.
That's
Yeah.
Sneak attack when one-on-one.
Yeah.
Nice. Whoa.
He grins and sort of flourishes the blade around. You won't win, you slob, you. Holds out his blade to keep your
I'm
arms
probably
low.
belly laughing at the back, going, "This is excellent. I will write these down when I next see him."
Kasaki is like, he seems riled, but his form is decent. He
Who-
flourishes too much.
Oh, the Thorns, yeah. I thought you were talking about Theren.
No, both of them.
Oh, but...
Theren, your turn.
Theren just kind of glances down the wound, looks back up and goes, "Your insults are getting worse. Are you getting tired?"
Oh.
And he's going to attack him again.
Okay, go for it.
Ooh.
That's not going to do it. That's a 13.
13, he parries your first blow. Hey, tired? I've got you worked out now, boy. Sort of brings his blade back up.
Boy.
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 17.
17. So with his reaction, he's going to up his armor class, and he again parries your blade away, increasing his AC. Both attacks just you can see sparks now flying as his rapier, not really designed for the defense, but he's having to bring up big sweeping defensive strikes as he parries your blade away and goes to riposte straight into the middle of you. There's 19 to hit.
Nope.
Doesn't hit. There's a moment where it's just like inches away from your face, but just as coming, you manage to smack it right at the last minute with your shield, bring the blade back down. He sort of grunts, pulls himself back into defensive form.
My go again?
That's all he can do. Yeah, he's got no bonus actions he's going to do for now.
Cool. Pardon me. Then he's just going to hit him.
Okay, do it.
Get him.
No words this time.
Better.
That is a 22.
Yeah, I can't do anything about that.
7 again.
7, he's going to let
No, sorry, 8.
8.
8 points of damage in
Going to
total.
let that one hit him again. This time you catch him just under the guard and slice into his side. He grunts but pulls himself back, bringing the riposte immediately.
Cool. Next attack. 21.
21, yeah, hits. Can't do anything about that.
There we go.
12.
12, he's going to uncanny dodge that one. So he just gets out of the way. You stab him right through the stomach, but he drops back just at the last minute, so the blade isn't quite as deep, but you still get a couple of inches of steel into his sternum as he grunts back and just strikes back at your face as a riposte.
Riposte.
15 to hit. He's dazed and foggy, pulling himself back, unsteady on his feet.
Cool. Theren is going to say to him before taking the attack, regardless of how this goes, know that I've enjoyed this fight.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
And then he's going to hit him.
Now he's really going to enjoy the fact.
That is 16.
16. No, with his reaction, he's going to parry the blow. First attack.
Come on. There we go.
23.
That'll hit, and you've got enough damage to kill him. So the first one, you parry, but you're waiting for it. He brings his blade up to parry, and your second one, you just go and smash down on the parry. He catches it perfectly, but he doesn't have enough strength to stop the blow. And the sword comes down, and your sword embeds like 3 inches into his shoulder blade. It cracks. He goes, and then just wipes at his eyes show, and it drops down. Immediately, the cleric's sort of gathering, stabilizing him. You see his wounds knit. Not healed, but stable. And he's dragged off. The Reaper! You hear a familiar voice shout from behind you in the crowd. Loving that fight. There's a lot of, display, performance. They enjoyed it.
Sheathes the sword with a flourish.
Yeah.
Oh. But.
Make a performance check.
Oh my god!
Natural 20. Okay. It's not quite as good as a blue one, but for your next fight, you can have a crowd inspiration.
Yes!
As the crowd are on their feet and supporting, and you've got them on their
Gotta
side.
play the game, Aubrey.
He comes back in. Kisaki just sort of gives you a nod. You let your guard down in the middle there.
You keep talking too much in your fights.
You don't make them last long enough. We want to be on these people's
I
sides.
will. That was just a really easy fight. I'm sure the next one it'll be really difficult. Or it may seem very difficult.
Yes, I did let the guard down the middle there.
There's less talking. Don't too much.
I don't know. I think the crowd particularly enjoyed that one. And is there any attendant nearby?
There's something you can summon someone, yeah, easily.
Right. To which I'm going to summon them and then go. Tell me, how did the crowd respond to my most recent fight?" And I look at Aubrey and just gesture as the attendant.
They loved you. Yeah, Reaper, right? Yeah, they're still singing you now. And you can see already the next fight has been led out. You can see a gladiator looking, a proper Roman gladiator with a helmet, a shield and spear in one hand, a shield and net in one hand and a spear in the other, getting ready. The second one, again, another guard-looking individuals come out, this time with a mace and a shield. But they're still singing Reaper, Reaper, Reaper. And it dies down eventually as the high priest gets their attention and moves them on.
It sounds more like Nipa, I've got to be honest.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you over them still chanting my name.
Nipa, yeah.
Is there time for a short rest between bouts?
Yes, you can have a short rest between bouts. So,
Right.
the last fight he's pretty processional again. The gladiator-looking man plays with this guard member. May even be a bit of bad blood there somewhere, but the crowd don't love it. He doesn't do a very good job of sort of riling them up, and it's a bit cagey. But eventually the gladiator gets that final blow, having gathered the guard member in his net, unable to move. The spear just lodges into his back, pulls it out, and lifts his arms up to the crowd. Mm-hmm. But not a popular member, that gladiator. He seems to be like a villain piece, so he sort of taunts the crowd and like gestures.
The heel.
The WWE.
Exactly.
The Undertaker.
About half an hour passes, by which point Kisaki has had time to have a short rest, which she didn't need because fighters get second wind and she got a layoff back. As you do.
I didn't need it either, but I don't say anything.
Kisaki is laid out. She sort of nods to you. Oh, well, wish me luck.
You'd be great.
I was working out the roster. I had a word with one of the attendants. I'm to fight the hobgoblin from previously. And if I win that match and Aubrey, you defeat Vulcan.
Oh shit.
We will be fighting. So if we both win our matches, at least one of us will be in the final.
Oh, no biggie. We'll be fine.
Nods.
Yeah.
I can heal the survivor.
Thank you. Sort of nods and moves away out. She is led into the middle of the arena where this hobgoblin stands looking at sort of spear pulled out like a large pike. As it sort of holds it towards her, she gets the katana out and very slowly sort of enters a guard. And when the fight is called, the hobgoblin paces round. But Kisaki holds her ground in the middle of the fight until... So how will Vasco do? Hobgoblin would strike first. He's the one that makes the immediate lunge in. He makes 2 spear attacks. Doesn't hit. Kisaki just dodges out the way of the first. Katana slicing up on the second as she gets her opportunity to move in and goes for 2 strikes into the hobgoblin's chest. One of them missing. The first one, she almost seems to lose her balance in the first strike and almost falls over, but just about corrects herself and just slices upwards and catches him just between the shoulder and the ear, causing a large gash as he sort of kicks her off and then goes to stab in twice more. The first attempt, she deflects away, and the second one manages to catch her again under the kneecap, just giving her like a thwack. You can see a small amount of blood coming in, but she just pulls the leg away, and this time again there's that steely determination, and she attacks 4 times.
Whoa!
Action 0.
Critical. Hit.
Come on.
Critical.
Yes!
As she just guts this hobgoblin.
Yes, yes.
In 2 strikes, it's staggered back off balance. The third one, she manages to cut down on its arm, making him drop the weapon. The 4th strike catches him under the knee, leading him to back onto his knees again. And she sort of waits as he just sort of hits the ground. Sort of again goes over this time and cleans a katana on the back of the hobgoblin as it goes to be stabilised and pulls herself back. She looks into the door at the sort of gives you a look, Aubrey, and goes, "I hope you're ready."
Oh, Theren is enjoying this so much, but he's not saying anything.
I'm always ready. Go out.
Aubrey,
I'm ready.
I'm
totally not ready.
Can we keep her?
Kisaki?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do this for now.
She's only a level 6 fighter.
Only level 6.
So, Aubrey.
Yes.
You were led out again. The high priest sort of puts his hand on your shoulder. And we've learned from last time, right? Yes?
Yeah, but it's more of a
Theatre.
challenge. Yeah,
It's worship.
No, yes.
You can't worship without passion.
You will see that, trust me.
Okay.
Right.
Stormbreaker! Voice echoes, Vulcan! As again Vulcan makes his way out.
You got this.
Stomping.
You've got
I
this.
feel so sick.
David believes in Fiona.
Let me just find Minotaur.
Find that Minotaur for me, please.
Sorry, this
Come on, Vulcan.
This must be quite dull for you.
No, it's okay. I'm planning what he.
I was going to say what you're doing in the meantime.
Yeah,
right?
what Brooker's doing during the day.
You can see the snort. Again, the axe. He sees your axe and raises his axe in one hand and gestures it to you and sort of nods.
Same.
Roll for initiative.
We'll see. Ooh. No, I do not. That was a 9. 11.
12.
Ooh,
Nice.
nice.
First.
Go for it.
So, getting up some speed, he charges in. And he is going to recklessly attack.
Sounds great.
So, he's going to hit with the gore, and then so he goes with advantage to attack you. Plus 6. Yeah, he's a 17 to hit.
Just hit.
Just hits. You go to just sort of like grab his horns and hit him, and he just hits you with more strength than you anticipated. Very strong. As he just flings you up into the air. I need you to make a strength saving throw, please. You are not yet raging.
It's a strength saving. It's a +7. That is a 23.
23.
Yes.
He goes to lift you and fling you onto your back, but you manage to just hold on and get pushed back, stumbling, but managing to keep your feet. You were not knocked prone.
That sounds like a lot of
But
dice,
you
though.
do take 28 points of piercing damage as he just slams into you with force. You feel your breath taken away from you as you grunt back.
Whoa.
Small thing,
Jesus Christ.
you will crumble. As his axe now gets brought down, but it is your turn.
Excellent. So as a bonus action, I would like to rage.
Kisaki sort of looks at you. What's the weather? And points upwards, and you can see the clouds now swirling, the lightning crackling over Aubrey.
Right. Now, yes, I will like to attack normally. So not reckless, but he's already recklessing, so I'd get advantage on that.
Very true. Great Weapon Master?
Yes! Solid. Let's do
Okay,
it.
make those attacks.
So +3. That is a 16 to hit.
16 hits.
Okay, and I'll do the second one as well. That is a 17 to hit.
Hits, both hits. You see Aubrey just take a step back and with huge recklessly swing, just sweeping and hitting into Vulcan.
Okay, so here we go. Okay, so the first one will be
So it's
29 on the first one.
29.
And then on the second one, it'll be 6 plus 2, it's 8. It's 18 on the second one. That's 1 and 12.
Wouldn't it be 19? Because that's a 1, your thing is +10.
Yeah, so it's 1 on the dice,
Yeah.
plus
so
5.
11 plus 5.
No, so hang on. So 1 plus 5 is 6, plus 2 is
8.
8, plus 10.
Sorry, my maths.
That's okay.
There you go. So it's 47 damage and 2 hits. So Aubrey just sort of... And he parries both blows, but the impacts are so fun. You get 2 sizable notches into his huge bull-like form. The muscles are massive. His form is huge, but still 2 big slices in. He grunts back, just already blood starting to pop out of his mouth. You'll pay for that. As he brings his axe down to attack you back. He's going reckless. He does not
bring
give
it.
a shit. That is 23 to hit.
That does hit.
Yeah, I feel like you're just taking it now. Which is like, whatever. So
Well, that first attack was really hard.
Yeah.
5. That's not as good.
Oh,
Shit, a 2d12. I rolled 5. That is a 9 slashing damage, halved to 4. So this time, he goes to slam down on the axe and just goes to sort of hit immediately down onto Aubrey. You bring your axe up and you just slice it out of the air. Your arms jolt under the impact slightly, but you manage to parry. Great axe on great axe. Big sparks of metal. Your turn.
Yep, I'm going to, because he's reckless again, I'm just going to attack normally to attack Great Weapon Master.
Okay, do it.
Okay, so the first one.
Nice.
It's a 22.
Hits. Jesus.
And it's 22 again.
Both hit.
Okay, so, sorry, maths. 13, 15, 25 on the first one, and then 8, 10, 20 on the second one.
So, Aubrey manages to push Vulcan back, and over a couple of seconds, both creatures swinging huge axe blows that occasionally catch in midair and spark. You can see lighting up the arena, that temporary second of like a dim as it flutters out into the cold air. You can see breath from both of them as Aubrey against the Minotaur standing 8 feet tall, large horns, gets the advantage and starts beating him back and back. Aubrey forces him 2 feet, 3 feet, 4 feet, 5 feet back as he eventually gets into his back foot. When you catch him just under the knee, he jolts backwards and then you just run at him. And you hit him straight in the torso. You see his eyes. Jumps down to one knee and just holds his hand. And then just faints onto the floor. It's become...
God. Wow.
That was a challenge rating 3 Minotaur that you just soloed.
Whoa! Yeah, I had some good rolls.
There you go. So, the crowd applauding and sort of... You see there's again lots of shouts of Vulcan, a begrudging applause for the defeat of a favourite of theirs, but Aubrey, Minotaur, Stormbreaker, Minotaur defeater. Is that what you say? There's a couple of like, boo, boo,
just you
bring
wait.
back Vulcan, as you hear from the
Just
crowd.
you wait.
As you see Aubrey taking on a very villain-like appearance of the crowd. Oh, there's a begrudging respect as she's led up.
Are you not entertained?
Theren leads over to Cass and goes, oh, that is not going to win her any friends.
I'm doing
No, her
very
technique
well.
is... Well, I don't think she has technique, but that looks like it hurts.
Also, I was saying more just actively antagonising the crowd.
Oh yes, I'm thinking more that I don't want to get hit by that thing.
I think that you have the training, but really it's up to Paris.
What did you guys think?
Burgess 3.
You see it? I took him. Favourite. I'm now the new favourite. It's amazing. No need to thank me. We are going to win this tournament.
Yes, are you alright?
Yes, I'm quite heavy now.
I meant physically, you are quite profusely
I'm still
bleeding.
bleeding. Yes.
Yes. Right.
Cool.
You may want to sit down for a little bit.
Am I not sitting?
You see she's already like sat on the floor in the middle of the room.
There we
and
go.
you know,
It's not too bad. You're above half health still, so there's a bit of blood.
That
but
first attack.
It's the breath. It's the impact. You're still in shock, but you're okay. You're recovering.
Seeing spots everywhere.
Minotaur. It's going around my head.
Exactly.
So,
Wow. Impressive.
sorry, would I have had time for a short rest?
Yeah.
in all of this?
Yes, you can have a short rest.
Great. I want to roll that now then.
So,
Oh shit, that's not good.
Yes,
so
bursting in.
next, the mysterious hooded one is led back out. This time against the thuggish-looking man
the
from
pub man.
before, the pub man, but not the first pub man. Oh no, it would be the pub man. Yeah, exactly. You can see him just sort of, I could defeat you. You're nothing. You're a showboater. And she just stands there, this familiar sort of arms folded. As again, the seconds go by, the fight is announced, and she just doesn't move, doesn't bother. He just, you can't taunt me like that. Makes his way over, grabs a fistful of the sand from the cussing and just throws it towards her.
Oh, he did that.
She just lazily, just sort of as he sort of charges forward, his big mace in hand, and just goes to swing it at her. She parries it straight off, and again the blades are drawn, and she's going to make 3 attacks against him. Yeah, all hit. And within about 12 seconds, she has him down. The guy's reckless, bulkish form is nothing compared to her technique. As she just dismantles him, first disarms him, and then leaves him a couple of seconds before jolting him to one knee and letting him get up. And then bring him to the other knee, and then gets up, and then just kicks him across the chest, lowers him as he comes flat on his back. He's scrambling to get up, but his fat form stops him from moving athletically. And she takes the blades and just pins him there, and then just stands. And it's the what do you call it? The clerics around have to pull the weapons out and heal him quickly, and they sort of give them back, and she just sort of puts them back in the sheaves and just walks off. The crowd again, not a particular favourite of her. There's a lot of boo, boring.
Just bring back Vulcan. He went 2 fights ago.
Theren.
Mm-hmm.
Your time is up. You've had a short rest.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. So you walk out, and across from you, across the noise, again, the air still humming with the stamps and the claps and the general buzz of the environment. The high priest sort of nods at you. Reaper, very, very, very strong showing last time.
Thank you.
I see you've got the spirit of this place. Good luck. This is a tough competitor indeed.
Who is it?
He refers to himself just as the gladiator. Built for the arena, they say. Yes, he's good luck.
Ryan,
And
you've
you can
thrown
see-
another fucking net at me, haven't you?
This guy does have a net, yeah. So you can see he sort of stands there, very athletic, not very much armour, like leather armour across the important bits, but his muscles, his legs, his arms all on show. A helmet, a spear, and a net and shield in one hand as he sort of twirls it, making noises towards the crowd, but already Reaper.
Draws back or just holds it up. And then
Reaper.
slowly enters the stance.
Roll initiative.
2.
Sorry, Sam. I appreciate this is a very
No,
combat-y.
While these guys are having fun, I'm thinking through how I'm
Yeah, you're doing your own.
investigating.
Yeah, probably makes sense.
We're fighting. Sam's being Detective Pikachu. That's great.
Yeah, pretty much.
Perfect.
2.
Perfect. So,
Please
2.
go first. I think it'd be physically
Yes,
impossible
he is. So,
for me not
the
to
gladiator
do so.
moves first. Let's have a look. So his huge physical presence as he runs towards you,
Mhm.
he immediately, initially goes, what would he do? Okay. So he throws the net at you first.
Of course he does.
Immediately, sort of a big swish, and the net becomes far wider. Have you seen those fishing nets that people use, the circular ones? They whip them out and into the sea, and there's like a huge circular expanse that goes to fall on you. Make a dexterity saving throw.
Hey.
20.
20. You just immediately just sort of
Nope.
tumble to the side. You feel it crashing just to the side of you, weighted, pinning you to the ground, but you just roll just from under it and pick yourself up, only to see him just sort of coming in, and he goes to charge you with this shield, just bashing you straight down to the floor. He's a natural 1. He goes to shield, but just from your kneeling position, you just sort of like bring your shield up and just it just sparks over you, and he goes over the top of you and has to correct himself quite majorly to stop himself from falling over, but brings himself back to spear range and just sort of holding it midway, goes to attack you with it. That is a 18 to hit.
Nope.
No, this time it jabs straight into your arm and just crashes off the side and flings off as the metal allows no purchase. Your turn.
Great. I'm going to attack him. And with advantage, right?
Yeah, with advantage.
Okay. 16, 18,
26.
24.
Hits.
Oh, yeah, 24. No, I'm just adding.
11.
11. Yeah.
And next attack. That one was 15. Less than 15. 17.
17 hits.
Nice.
No, he's going to use the reaction to parry it. So this time the spear takes your weapon out of the way.
Okay.
And he manages to hold himself.
Cool.
In his turn, he's going to bring his spear down on you and make 3 melee attacks. With the spear just slicing and jabbing.
Fighters, man.
That is... Oh, he's just a gladiator in the book. 22 to hit.
Mm-hmm.
The rest will not hit. So he gets 1 attack in.
Cool.
That
Cool.
will take...
Nothing.
Where's my D8's gone?
You gone?
I don't want to give you one of my D8s to hit me with. I'll be honest.
I will.
Fiona!
Oh no,
Sounds
he's
good.
only using it with one hand, so 9 damage.
Okay.
If it catches you, your turn.
Yeah, I'm just going to slash at him again.
Yep, do it.
21.
Hits.
And I'm just going to
No.
natural one on the next one.
Second one doesn't hit, so he blocks the first attack, and then the second one you catch him. Roll for damage.
Okay, cool.
Yep, you did hit the second.
That is 11. Wait. No. Yes, 11. Sorry. I'm really bad at this.
It's been over a month.
11 damage.
So.
He'll bring another 3 attacks back against you. Unless you correct me if you want me to use a bonus action or do anything else.
No, I don't think there's anything I can do. So.
Okay. Fantastic. His highest is 19. So
Nope.
the 3 attacks just. You see the two of them are now caught in combat. The spear just Theren blocking, parrying, catches under. Every now and then the spear will catch Theren a bit hard. Every now and then Theren will parry back. The crowd already beginning to whip up and not see who's going to win here. Reaper, Gladiator, Reaper. Just opposing ends of the crowd. Your move.
Remind me, how does this work? Is this to hit?
Yes, that's to
damage
hit.
at all?
Yeah, exactly.
It's an inspiration.
Yeah, okay.
Bardic inspiration, effectively.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, just wanted to clarify. Okay, yeah, I'm just going to hit him again.
Do it.
Yeah.
Roll for damage.
Oh, crap. That's a natural one, the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Second
Not going to
one.
do you much, I'm afraid.
Ooh, that is 24.
24 does hit. Roll for damage.
8 points of damage.
Okay. Yeah, you find a nick, and again you just bash him, but he sort of grunts as he has to wince from the impact. He returns with another 3 attacks.
Do not like 3 attacks.
So that's a 26 to hit.
That'll do it.
And the next is a 13. So 1 will hit you.
Nice.
Again, he can't roll for shit. 7 damage.
Okay.
He brings it down on
All
you.
adds up.
And again, it's just parry after parry. Neither side really gaining purchase on the other. It's a very close fight at the moment. It is your turn.
Same again.
Yep.
Just gonna keep trading blows.
Do it.
First one, that is 14?
14 doesn't hit.
But I'm gonna use my inspiration for it.
Do it.
Quickly.
You use the crowd's advantage to cut under him.
18 in total. Then.
18. It would hit, but he's going to parry the blow. Unfortunately, just to get rid of it. He's just by 1. But yeah, he stopped that. Unfortunately,
Cool.
Second attack.
Oh, that's not gonna do it.
No, he blocks your attacks this turn, grinning, brings the spear down, and goes for a couple of jabs. Thank you.
Thank you.
Against you. 3 more attacks. That is 1 is a 24, but the others are trash. So 1 will hit.
Just.
It's a little better. That is 11 points of damage this time.
Okay.
He catches under your guard, and this time just kicks you and jabs you, and you get a big hit as you wince under the armour as it just hits a sensitive spot, and you get winded a bit. Your move.
Maybe you should start talking to the person more. That's where he gets the hits in. I'll say that to Cass.
They're very tough. Theren, I don't think, has come across somebody this agile in combat.
No.
Neither side looks like they've really taken damage though.
No.
27.
27 hits. There's nothing you can do about that.
Just gonna roll the second one as well.
Go for it.
Oh, that is 17.
17 hits, but he's going to parry it. So,
Nice.
so 1 hit in.
14 damage.
14 damage. It's slightly better hit. You can see he's beginning to sweat and grunt under the impact of it. Both sides taking some damage.
Yeah.
Stamina beginning to drop a little. Make an opposing performance check. Now the battle's gone on for some time. Let's see what he's...
Oh.
25.
25. That beats his 20. So you can see the crowd's going backwards and forwards, but the crowd... Reaper. He said, snarling. I'm their favourite. You will not... sort of between mouthing curses. Not really anything legible, but just getting frustrated by the fact that you're fighting back. 3 more attacks. That is 2 natural 1s and a 14. So now this time you can't get an opening through your armour and through the shield. You can see scratch marks appearing in your armour and shield, but they're good scratch marks.
Well,
they're
like that.
active scratch marks. You're happy with them.
Cool. So he said that he's their favourite.
Yeah.
Alright, so before I attack, Theren's going to go, oh, I'm sorry, are they chanting your name? Wow.
There it is.
Make an intimidation.
Are these
check.
heathens who I love shouting your name?
At disadvantage because
That was a
he has a
five.
thing that stops him from getting intimidated.
15.
15. It's not enough, unfortunately. No, he's sort of you'll see. They'll all see him, and he's sort of. Oh no, it's your turn, isn't it?
Yeah, both attacks.
Both attacks. Go for it. Both barrels.
27.
Hits.
Ooh, no, that's not going to do it.
Right, one attack hits.
Come on.
Still, it's a war of attrition here. Both sides barely getting anything in.
15.
15. This time you manage to catch him just above the knee. There's a grunt as he starts to bleed. He's a, you'll pay for that. And attacks you back.
Oh, come on.
That isn't... highest is 26 and
Yeah,
then
that'll do.
18. So,
Whoa.
no, just one
One
hit.
hit.
Neither side can get anything more than one hit in.
It's
This
quite,
is
it's like back and
close.
forth.
This is really close. That's a better hit though. That's 13 points of damage. Has that brought you below half?
Oh, I'm already way below half.
How much are you on?
I'm now on 14.
14. He sort of... tiring, I see, are you? And brings his spear back. You won't be their favourite for much longer.
How's he looking?
You've got a tiny nick on him. He's out of breath, but he doesn't look that badly injured.
Fuck
About half
you.
health, you reckon?
Jesus Christ.
You need to hit him twice. Hit him! Shout from the top. Or
Alright.
maybe talk to him more. That normally works.
You can't hear this, by the way. He's just the crowd. The blood's starting to get on his side now. He's got a couple of hits in. There's moans and groans. You can see the priest is like excitedly clapping along and raising his arms and gathering the crowd together. What would you like to do?
Cool. Alright. Theren is going to glare at the guy, look off to the side, and just spit out a load of blood, lock eyes, and just run and hammer him with the sword.
Okay, perfect. Make your attack.
Yep.
26 on the first one,
Hits.
Hey!
21 on the second one.
Hits. Can't do anything about those. Roll for damage.
12 damage and
Oh.
8 damage, so 20 in total.
Okay. This time again, you're scratching away at him. You get your shield and thwack him across the face. Stab him slightly, but he just twists himself out of the way. You need to cut down him. And again, just as he goes to parry, you manage to flick your blade and just scratch him on the arm. You're getting little nicks in here and there, but nothing telling. He's sort of bringing himself back. He's sort of laughing. Getting tired, I see. They're mine. And he's going to this time use his shield to bash you. He feels a bit more confident now.
Uh-oh.
So he is 15 to hit.
No.
Just shield on shield. You manage to hold your ground. Keep that up if you can. Shield bash again. 23 to hit.
Yeah, that'll do it.
That'll, can you make a strength saving throw for me, please?
Come on. Yes.
23.
Right, you feel yourself being knocked prone, but again, you grit your teeth and just get hit back for 8 points of bludgeoning damage.
Right.
Ooh.
As this time, he sort of, you are strong, I'll give you that, and brings his spear up to make that one last attack on
Yeah.
you. 14 to hit.
Oh.
As you're grunting and sort of he's feeling confident. You can see your own blood now glistening beside the tip of his spear as he's swishing it around.
Oh, yeah, I am barely stood up at this point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your fighter sense is kicking in, your military training, holding your ground.
There's nothing else I can do. Everything's magical. Shit.
You've got Vowed Enmity, haven't you?
It's
Have you
magic.
used it in the first round, didn't you?
No.
No, he
I
didn't.
used it against...
Oh, no, you didn't, no.
It's magic. I can't use it.
Divine.
I just said magic's not allowed.
He's lawful good. He's not going to do something out loud.
So roll for attack.
Right. Fuck it. 25.
Hits.
Come on, but that makes a hit him.
Nah.
Right, one of his attacks hits.
Come on.
Yeah.
There we go.
15.
Right, this time you get a good hit on him. You catch him just on the shoulder and slice. Guts of blood spread across his torso. He pulls himself back, having to adjust his shield, wincing in pain, dropping the shield, bringing the spear, changing his guard. You'll pay for that. He's going to attack you back now.
Cool.
Right, that is 19.
No.
17.
No.
25.
Yeah.
25 to hit.
If I'm probably out.
How much health you got?
6.
6 health. Yeah, unfortunately, you're not going to survive this. That's 12 damage.
Yeah, I'm out.
As you see Theren just get knocked back, and he gets the spear and just guts you with it, manages to punch through the plate armor, and there's a moment where you go, shit. As he gets pulled out, and just as the world goes black for you, you can see his smug face grinning at you, blood just sort of being wiped from his chin as guards come over to like stabilize you as the world goes from black to white and then nothingness. Kisaki at this point, her arm is like gripped on you, like painful, and she sort of lets it go, and like,
He'll be fine.
he fought well.
It was very close.
That is a fearsome opponent.
I'm sure if he had like one more hit in, he would have got it. But
Yes.
always need to improve, yeah? That's what you guys always talk about.
Yes. Is she silent? Like
Yeah, no. I'm now trying to fill the space.
Okay.
I'd also
So-
like to take a short rest.
Yeah, take your short rest.
Just
That's
making, I
fine.
didn't want to take away from the fight, that's all.
Remember, you can only take 2 short rests in a day.
That's okay.
So, Aubrey, you notice Kisaki goes over to sort of move over to Theren as he's dragged into the room unconscious. She kind of sort of walks over, sees that he's stable without really looking, and then just is unsure whether to sort of go over or not, and eventually just sort of resorts to kind of just sitting on a box nearby, saying,
I'm sure, just go, it'll be fine. Go.
"It's fine. He wouldn't want me to. It's not the way he."
I think he would. He'd appreciate the gesture.
It's not
Imagine if it was me, right? He would not want to see me lord it over him that he fell again at the tournament, whereas he would appreciate a friendly face.
Well, as in, there's nothing I can do medically for him.
Oh, okay. I just thought, well,
I'm thinking practically.
okay. I was more supporting friends in it
Right.
together.
Oh, this is so great.
Yeah.
After about half an hour, Theren, you haven't woken up. You're stable. It takes you an hour to gain a hit point back. So Theren is still unconscious when Kisaki and Aubrey are summoned and led out into the arena. So have you done your short
I'm
rest?
just doing it now, sorry, I'm getting distracted by the talk.
Sorry.
15 on that. What's 15 on to 47?
15 on 47
Yeah.
is 62.
I'm gonna take another one. Yeah, back up to 4.
Yeah, good. She is also up to full.
74.
Thank you. I'll be fine then.
Perfect. So, you are led into
Oh,
the
make that easy
arena.
for
You
her.
can see the crowd are still like are sort of
Too
settled.
hot.
They've had some time. The priest pulls both of you in. Congratulations, both of you, for making it to the semi-final. Achievement. You know each other, right?
Yes.
It is the way of Xanor. We fight, we strive to perfect ourselves. You can see Kisaki at this point is sort of like not rolling her eyes, but just
I'm enraptured. I'm definitely making a point now to suck up to this guy.
Are you both ready?
Yes.
The fight ahead. She just
I-
nods her head.
Ready. Good luck.
Pulls the katana out. I don't need luck.
Okay, just say you might need luck. I certainly do.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, the semi-final between the Steel Wind and the Stormbreaker. And here, like, this noise bringing. Roll for initiative.
Much better.
Nice.
That is a 21. What does she get?
20.
Oh.
You go first.
Brilliant. Well, I'll do my normal thing. I'll rage.
Okay,
Get
again,
that
the
one.
lightning strikes. You can see the lightning sort of spark like around and light up her armor, but she doesn't look at it. She's got a few focused in her sight as the katana is brought up.
I will. Ooh. Okay, we'll go for it. 2 reckless great weapon masters on her.
Okay, do it.
Oh, that's annoying. That's only going to be a 16 to hit.
16. You go to sweep, and with a deft sort of thing, she blocks the axe, brings it down, and then grabs the axe. And there's a moment where you go to pull away, and she grits her teeth, and you are locked strength to strength in combat. And there's a sudden realization that she's stronger than you think, but you managed to rip your axe away.
Thank you. Yeah, that's mine. I'll roll again. Sorry. No, that's not going to hit at all. That's like 13.
13. This time she just ducks under the blow and sort of goes like, I thought you'd do that. And then swishes the blade around. So you are reckless right now.
I am reckless right now.
Okay, so she gets advantage.
Yep.
So that is a 26 to hit.
Yes.
Fighters, man.
24 to hit.
Yes.
And she's going to action surge.
Do it.
26 to hit.
Yep.
And that's only a 17 to hit.
That is my armor class.
So she gets 4 attacks in. So where be my d10s? As this time she catches under your guard and just attacks you. She moves far faster than you could ever imagine. Like it's just an assaulted steel. As the blade is brought up and down. So that is 8, 13, 16, 19, 35 damage in total, half to 17.
Okay.
Because of your recklessness. There's a moment where after the blade, she sort of reassesses her stance, like whirling around, catching up, left, right, down, just spinning and sort of dancing. And she sort of looks, sees that you haven't really backed down, you're just sort of absorbing the blows, and at the last moment you kind of just push her off and she stumbles back, drawing her blade back round and reassessing the situation.
Yes, I will also reassess. I would just like to reckless my attacks.
Right, do it.
From now. Right, so the first attack is good, that's much better, plus 8, that's 24 to hit.
24 hits.
And then the second is a 23 to hit.
23 hits. 2 attacks hit.
Yeah, that's a 2, isn't it? So that is, first one is 9 slashing damage.
9 slashing damage, yeah.
No, that's a 5. 5 plus 5 plus 2 is 12 on the second one.
Yep.
So that's
12.
21.
Okay. Perfect. Again, the 2 axe blades, she parries both of them, but this time you're being more precise with your attacks. Yeah. And you get 2 good sundering hits, so she has to grunt, powering each one. You can see that like the well of stamina inside her is beginning to be sapped slightly. But she sort of kicks out. She is going to use a bonus action to use some second wind to get a little bit of health back. Oh. That is not bad, actually.
God's sake.
And then she's going to make 2 more attacks at you again with advantage. So that's 18 to hit.
Hits.
And 18 to hit.
Hits. Right, we're not natural. It's okay.
That is 11, 15, 19 damage, half to 9.
Okay, half to 9, so that's
yeah.
8.
You can see she's trying to technically defeat you, but every time she comes anywhere near close, you frighten her away and kick and punch and just use your physical form to stop her from getting too near. And the blade, she just can't get near enough to you to avoid getting hit by like one big axe swing she realizes is going to like be bad for her. So it's your attack now.
That's exactly what it's going to be. And again, 2 reckless attacks on her.
Okay, go for it.
Oh, that is a 27.
Hits.
And a 21.
Hits.
So, I'll roll again. Okay, that was cocked then. So it's a 10 plus 5 plus 2, so that's 17 on the first attack.
Yep.
And then the second attack is 3 plus 5 plus 2 is 10. Yes.
Okay. The second attack, you manage to sort of cut, and again, you're just bashing her. You can see, like, already she's got, like, a black eye. She's bruised, just having to, like, just trying to resist this sundering of attacks. She sort of grits her teeth. There's a moment where she kind of closes her eyes and then sees you with a gritty, steely determination as she uses her fighting spirit. Doesn't really do much for her, though, because it gives her 5 temporary hit points, but you already are attacking at advantage, so he doesn't get anything of that. So she gets a little bit of health, though. So make 2 attacks of advantage. 22 to hit.
Hits.
And that's not so good. That's only 11 to hit.
It doesn't hit.
So she only catches you with one. The second one, she just spins and caught off balance. The blade just passes in front of you without hitting you, but she does get one attack in. That's a good roll. That's 14 damage, so that's 7 damage after halved.
Good lord.
Your move.
My move. Yep. Same again. 2 reckless attacks.
Mm-hmm.
On her. Oh, not very good. That is a 17.
Hammer class, yeah, hits her.
And then that's an 18.
Hits, yeah. Man, she could have used plate armor.
Could have done. Okay, so first attack is 11 slashing damage.
11 slashing damage,
And
that gets rid of
then
her
5,
temporary.
And then 10 as well, so 21.
Okay, right, and she looks pretty injured now. You managed to get the second attack, you managed to catch her and just get a big slash out of her torso. She grunts back, blood beginning to pool, but she sort of looks down and again her eyes go back and she takes that determined focus, and again she's going to burn a second fighting spirit to attack you. Gets a little bit more temporary hit points. 24 to hit.
Hits.
22 to hit.
Hits.
2 10s on d10s. 20, 24, 28 damage, half to 14.
Whoa!
This time, just again, the blades of steel. This time she
27.
catches you, and you start taking cuts left and right as she adjusts to the way you attack. And manages to really start nicking you now, and you're feeling like you can feel the wounds and the blood, and neither side are looking comfortable at this point. The crowd are like really getting behind the different styles, the brutishness, the flourishes, like on either side. It's very, very competitive.
So before I make my next two attacks, I'd like to say, look, I'm not saying between my breasts, I'm like, look, I'm sorry about the letter thing. Look, just speak to Theren. He's much better than words. I just thought it was a good idea. And then recklessly attack her twice.
She sort of like, I didn't read.
So that is a 23 to hit. The first one.
Yeah.
And that is a 21.
Yeah, both hit. So I'm just going to get rid of the 5 temporary hit points, I'd imagine.
Good. So that is 16 plus 2 is 18 slashing damage on the first one.
18, so that's reduced to 13, which gives her... She's only got 3 health left, so the second attack's going to kill her.
Yeah, 5,
Yeah, so
12.
This time, she just... what? And the attack, she goes to parry it, but you can see that the strength has left her arms, and the katana just sails away out of her grip as the parry, as the blow. And the second one, you just whirl around and like funk the axe into her. As a moment she looks down and sort of stares at you.
I said, oh, sorry.
And slips back without saying anything.
Sweet.
Eyes focused on you until the last moment.
Oh,
and again, people come and stabilise her. And she's dragged away.
Oh, that was hard. I look to the crowd and go, ah.
Make a performance check.
Hey!
Plus 6. Oh, it's a 21!
21. Yeah, Stormbreaker. I guess the lightning is still crackling around. Yeah. Eventually fades as you calm.
I go, shit, probably shouldn't have mentioned the letter.
As you are led away.
Whew, that was pretty tense.
You should fly at this point.
No, I wouldn't have put it on because I'd be too tempted to use it in battle.
So, Aubrey.
I leave.
Before you leave, the priest grabs you.
What?
Says, Aubrey.
I know!
Stormbreaker.
Yes!
Finalist! And like announces it, and there's a clap and like a congratulations.
Thank you.
I look forward to seeing you in the next round.
Me too. Who can I ask who will it be?
Oh,
or is that next?
It's the next semi-final. It'll either be the hooded one or the gladiator.
Oh, okay. Which one do you think?
Probably the hooded one, yeah. Sort of backs down.
Cool.
Stormbreaker!
Rematch.
As you announced.
Sweet.
And you were led back to the room.
I make it back. Is Cass with us?
Yeah, she's been dragged back into the thing, and you can see just Theren and Kazaki both unconscious and lying on different sides of the room at this point. In sort of various places. There's an attendant just sort of watching over, watches you come in and goes, oh, and then sort of leaves the room.
Fuck. So Theren didn't see, and I hurt the person. Oh, great. Well, it looks like I'm going to talk to myself for half an hour. And I do, at great length.
Begrudgingly.
I talk about ways I can improve my fighting style, but with my ideas.
The last semi-final between the hooded one and the gladiator is a much more tense affair. Initially, it starts in a very similar way to Theren's fight. You can see the net is thrown, the hooded one just sort of blocks it off and isn't caught by it. The shield bash comes in, and again she just sort of parts to the other side. But the spear, the first one does strike her, and by the time she's got the swords out, she's sort of backing backwards, and then they start to attack each other. It's about 25 seconds of very similar blow for blow, trading blows. You can see each get a decent hit or two onto the other before, about 25 seconds in, there's a turn in the battle. There's a particularly brutal parry from 1-2 blades of the thing, leaves the gladiator exposed and gets a decent hit in the middle, backing him forwards, visibly wounded. As you can see, the fight turns. And the next 20 seconds is basically him using the shield to keep the hooded one off. Hit, 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 just coming in, 2 blades and spinning motions. Every time he brings the shield up left, the next one comes in right, next one comes in left, up, down. It just spins to block it. And after about a minute's worth of fighting, he goes down. The hooded one there, you can see this time somewhat injured, bleeding in several places. So you can see her sort of bringing a wound and sort of flicking it, pulls the blades in and makes her way in. Theren, you wake up to see the sort of last elements of that fight. You watch the hooded one just sort of drop the gladiator just from sort of the floor. You can kind of just hear what's happening from the crowd. There's a sort of like an applause, a begrudging respect for the combatants, but you wake up.
Cool.
You immediately look around to see Aubrey just sort of looking rather bored.
I'm watching the fight. But
but watching the fight, but just sort of keeping to herself. And Kisaki across the room from you, unconscious, with several wounds that looked like they'd been patched, but there's blood in several places on clothing and large wounds.
Theren walks up to Aubrey's side and just kind of like gently puts his hand on her shoulder.
Oh, you're awake. Great.
You're fighting her next.
Yes.
All right. 1 second.
Yeah.
Turns around, goes into the bag of holding, brings out a potion. Goes, drink that.
Right now?
Yes, now.
All right. I'm still short resting, but yes, I will.
Drink it. Also, come here.
I'm just in the middle.
Okay, so several things are going to be done right now. First of all, you've just been given that.
Yeah, thank you. I've got it.
Secondly,
Fiona's genuinely just like, stop that.
22, 20, 33, 47 hit points back.
Cool.
Sorry.
Right.
Yep.
The hand that's on Aubrey's shoulder glows, and I'm going to lay on hands for 20.
You've got 30.
I'm literally back.
25.
I'm back up to full health from my short rest. I'm losing 1 health. I'm literally 1 health down. So
1 health.
So you're on full.
Fine.
You used all your hit dice, right?
I have used all my hit dice.
There you go.
I am knackered.
At least this time we're not getting to a very dangerous meeting after.
We found that potion when you were dead.
Oh, yeah, you did tell. Yeah, no, we spoke about this before. Using
Yes,
it. Yeah.
it'll make you stronger.
Yeah, I
You're
guess.
going to need every advantage you can get.
I don't know. She looks pretty injured now, though.
You're going to need every advantage you can
You're
get.
probably right. Yeah.
Drink it. Don't argue.
I'll drink when we're about to go into the fire.
Yes,
So
obviously.
I
didn't. Yes.
Oh, it's for an hour, isn't it? She says, looking into the potion. Okay.
Now,
I'll drink it when we're about to fight.
great. Excuse me. Turns over, goes to Cass. 29 hit points.
Yeah, there's a sort of moment where she sort of Burger.
She beat me too, don't worry.
Did she?
Yes, first time we did this. Alright, stay put. I've got it.
We both have a lot to learn.
From
Yes,
me.
well... How are you doing?
I'll do.
Imagine if Cass gets a level in Barbarian multiclassing.
I am the teacher.
This is now 15 hit points stronger.
Yeah.
How's
Cool.
she looking?
So, what was it? 15, and then what's the first
15 and 29.
29.
So she's on 44. So she's missing. She's above half health.
How does she look?
The wounds have closed up. She seems like she's catching her breath still, but she's much better than she was. I'll be fine.
Don't be silly. Does it again.
Okay.
Ooh, 2 level 2 spells.
These are warlock spells. That's what it is.
Yeah.
That one's only 9. No. Sorry, 11.
Math.
Sorry.
It's alright, don't worry.
Okay. So she's on 55 out of 70. So
Wow.
thank you. I'll be able to recover the rest.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Alright.
So, if you want, Cass, I can train you. I was training Blue
Oh.
before we went on trip. If you need
Right.
some, yeah. And it's an unorthodox way.
Does
of
everyone
teaching.
around you die?
Well, including I go first usually.
Right.
Yeah. Also, Blue's technically not
She sort of
dead.
goes quiet.
Alright, I think about it.
So
Think of my own
about
story.
20 minutes go by. I'm going to give you the benefit of the short rest,
Thank you. Was needed.
and we're going to pick up on the final
Yeah.
next week.
Oh.
We'll get that one done, and then we'll move on with the story. There's a lot of little gladiator things. We hadn't had a tournament in a little while. It's good. There's a bit of story progression as well. So, all doing good. It's a very passive
I know, I
episode.
found
I'm very
that so
sorry.
bad, yeah.
You'll have lots to do before. We
I feel
go
like
out,
next
I
time
promise.
it's like Brooker hour.
I have a plan.
Yeah, we just won't show up for next week.
Yeah. So, thank you very much for watching, everybody. We shall see you next time. Bye.